What's up, everybody? We are back. It's another episode of Friday Night Shenanigans. As always, as I said in the status earlier, I don't know how many times I can say this. I'm stoked for this episode. I'm out here with Paul effing Batters and my main boy, my homie, my boating partner. We missed that lockup, Scuba Steve. I have been prying to get you on here for a little while now. Yeah. So I'm stoked to have you on. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, dude.
Scuba Steve has had some adventures recently with our buddy John Hansen down in South Carolina, right?
Yep.
And what was the lake that you guys went to?
Well, we started out on Lake Moultrie. It's Santee Cooper, so it's Lake Moultrie and Lake Marion. We started out on Lake Moultrie the first day that we were there. That's where I caught that big fish.
The big one was on the first day that you were there.
Real windy that day. Mm-hmm. Bad conditions. We knew going into it we were going at a bad time, but we had already planned everything. It worked for him. It worked for me. He was like, let's just go.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can do. It's probably not going to be what it was when I was there a week ago, and it wasn't. They were all on this shallow bay when he was there before that. And that's where we went first, and it just wasn't the deal.
Were they up on beds when he was there a week before?
Starting to, but they were definitely in the area where they were going to do that.
You had a little cold front come through.
Then
there,
a cold
right?
front came through, and they
pulled them
right
back
pulled
off.
it. They went. So
I was going to say, there this time of year, it's it's time.
Yeah,
you can.
He was there the week before and caught a couple big ones. And he was on him. He was like, let's go back down. He was there the week before and caught a couple. So we fished that area to start out with, and then the wind got...
What's up, Tracy?
The wind got real high, and we were like, not going to work. So we had to go look around. Luckily, he knows his way around there a little bit. He's been there a few times.
So was this I don't know, it's not like a Loch Raven. It's not like a Is this considered a highland reservoir, or is it's a lake?
It's a huge lake.
It's a huge lake. I mean, Anna's considered a highland reservoir.
So those are going to be lowland reservoirs.
It's basically a swamp, really. Yeah. I mean, there's cypress. It's a cypress tree area in it, so it's sketchy. When you're if you don't know your way around there, I don't know how people go out there and get on plane.
You can literally only run. You can only run the channels.
Yeah.
There are marked channels. Do not go outside of them, or your boat is done.
Mm-hmm. It's sketchy.
I mean, you guys had a couple of times where you were, you were out the channel fishing, but you would just look over and you'd be 30 feet away from a cypress tree, but there would just be a root ball, just right there.
Those knees come up 10, 15 feet away from where the actual tree is. So, I mean, it's sketchy.
It's pretty cool.
But there's fish on that stuff.
Yeah,
too,
you can fish that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty cool.
There's some if you ever want to fish cypress trees, there's some cypress trees on the Nanticoke.
I'm sure you've fished cypress before.
And Pocomoke's got a lot of cypress on it too. James River's got a lot of
the James Run. You guys ever fish the James Run?
I have fished James Run.
James Run, right around the corner here? Yes, definitely.
Me and Will were coming. We have a couple guys that like to tell fishing tales at work, and we were talking about it. We were going to come in and tell a story of us fishing the James Run right next to Bushmill one day.
There's actually
there's a good area not far from there, honestly.
At the top of James Run, there's a big quarry, and there are some giants in that quarry.
Even that Bush River back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, there's good areas all around.
If you go up,
that's not far from Bush Mills if you think about it.
If you go up into Churchville, where James Run comes out of this quarry, and there are some giants in the quarry. But the quarry is also 100 feet deep.
Hey,
you know what I'm talking about?
That's a hard place to fish. There's good fish in there, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know that one.
I've seen some giants in there. I've caught some decent fish out of there. But
me too. No real big ones, though.
Maybe some 3 or 4 pounders.
That's about it.
But I have seen some 6s and 7s in there.
Sure.
Just cruising.
It's deep.
They just cruise.
And
you're like, oh my God, there's a 6-pounder.
Right before dark, you'll see them schooling on bait fish sometimes, and you can throw a shower blows out there or something, and you catch them on them.
Where is that quarry.
That's the one.
It is the
That's the
quarry.
one. Yeah.
Is that the one that we were talking about where the dead body was in it? Somebody rolled their old lady up in some chain link fence and threw a dead body in there or something.
Possible.
That wouldn't surprise me, but I don't know.
it's possible.
I don't remember talking about it, but
It's in Churchville, so I doubt it.
yeah.
Okay. I remember there's like one that has like huge, like steep, like
That's
stone
it.
walls.
That's it.
Okay,
One side
yeah,
you
right.
can't access at all.
Or
It's just a
are
straight
you talking
cliff.
about Whiteford? The quarries in Whiteford. Because there's
Lots of stuff going on up
I
there.
don't think it's the
Definitely been some
Whiteford
dead
one.
bodies in
It's
there.
a place. I think it was was it in Abingdon?
If it's in
No,
not
it's,
Abingdon,
it'd be considered
Church-
Churchville.
It'd be
Yeah.
It's close to my house.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's like my stomping ground.
That's the one. What's up, Joe?
There.
Thanks for joining us, bro. Yeah, I went in there a couple times on a kayak,
I've been in there,
and that was cool. I didn't.
There's
really
good
know
areas in there.
There's some.
That's some deep fishing.
It's deep.
That's some deep fishing.
I've walked. I've fished pretty much all the way around it. From
The one
bank.
side's a sheer cliff.
Yeah.
But
Other than that side, like.
yeah.
But yeah, like,
where that other stream comes into it.
like strong, like just like walking through like the quarry grounds.
Yeah.
You know, if you go there on like
Sunday.
a weekend when they're closed or
Go on
something
a
like that,
Sunday.
you just
Right.
you just walk like right up their road, and come back around to that little.
Yep.
What's that?
Just don't try that during the week.
So what
They have like
happens?
that little walkway.
Yeah, little metal railings that
Yeah,
go
with
down.
like a platform down there. Yeah.
So the real question to me is what happens if DNO or somebody does come up on you? You're out there
It's
on a
private
kayak.
property.
It's like it's private property, but it's like maybe you just outweigh them.
Yeah.
How long are they going to sit there
There
on the
used to
bank
be-
just so they can give you the $150 kayaking?
There used to be signs.
Well-
There's nothing there now. So I
They
think
have
you could
cars,
be like,
So I assume they're just gonna go sit in their car until you come out.
Yeah. I guess you ain't really winning that.
no.
No.
Unless you catch a PB, then it's okay. You can give me a fine. I'm okay with that at that point.
Yeah, until they confiscate, until you piss them off because you made them wait, and then they confiscate all your fishing gear and the
Like,
$200 glide bait that you caught that PB on.
Right.
I'll hook them in the face with it first. Like you can have it. Treble hooks first.
I caught a PB this weekend.
Did you? A PB what?
PB striper.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Fishing
fishing?
up on the flats.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
There's a lot of big striper being caught on the flats right
On
now.
a Vision 110 with those crappy Mega Bass hooks and 10-pound line.
Did you break every hook trying to get them out of the fish's mouth?
Only broke one.
Shocker.
And
I mean,
it choked that jerk.
Fishing
bait,
it
too.
on 10-pound line is a start because if you throw it any heavier than that, those hooks are no good.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to play around with drag. I fish them on
for sure.
I fish them on 17 sometimes. Just
I'll switch them out.
curiosity.
If I'm
Yeah,
going
caught
to
a-
heavier line, I'll switch them out.
Caught a 37-inch, like 20-pound striper. That was pretty sweet.
On some 10-pound?
On 10-pound line.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Then my buddy, like the next cast after I unhooked him.
What's going on, gents?
He's here, dude. Hell
I
yeah.
had to do that. I had to do that.
Oh my god, I had no idea it was coming. Let me go get you a chair, dude.
But
What's going on, folks?
so like the next cast, after I get it unhooked, my buddy like picks it. He was throwing a rattle trap down the bank. I was throwing a jerkbait. Picks up his rattle trap, throws it to the same spot, catches a 35-incher.
So they're just sitting there.
We got
in the
the-
current. What's up, Tom?
We get that one. We get that one in. I netted it, threw my jerkbait. I tied a new jerkbait on because I didn't feel like swapping hooks out. Tied a new jerkbait on, threw it up, caught like a 31-inch, all off the same spot. It's like yes.
Thank you.
The bass fishing sucked. So
Beer in this fridge?
There's beer in the fridge.
your experience in South Carolina was
Right on.
infinitely better than mine on the Upper Bay.
Right.
Dude, I like the new setup. I haven't seen it.
Yes, you have not seen
Pretty
the new
nice.
setup yet. Come here, Colin.
It's quite nice.
So we basically dealt with wind that whole first day. So it
Yeah,
kind of ruined the day, but
that's-
it worked out that I was like, if that's the only fish I catch here,
Oh yeah,
I'm fine with it.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wind's been.
See that cable splitter there?
We tried to make something happen in that bay for an hour or two. Then we went and did something else.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta give up on, even though
Yeah.
you were hammering them the week
Didn't
before.
matter. We all know how that goes.
You know?
It could be the next day and that stuff changes, but it was not the deal. So
You get on a weird weather pattern, or the temperature drops, or temperature spikes, or water gets dirty. It changes so much.
John had to take a business call while we were out there. He's like, go ahead, dude. Run the boat. Yeah. Go ahead. And I said, all right, I'll go over and there's a deep channel next to that area. I'm like, maybe they pulled off that bay and they went into this deep channel.
That's good thought.
So I ran down a riprap bank, didn't catch any, and I said, well, if I get to that end there, because he was resting, taking a phone call. I'm like, I'll run this whole riprap bank, and if I don't catch any when I get to this side, there's reeds on the other side, I'll shoot over to the other side. So didn't catch any on the riprap bank, went over to the reeds. Wind was crazy. I'd already pulled a spinnerbait out because
it's windy.
That's what I fish when it's windy. That's my confidence bait when it's windy. So I started
as you should
going down that bank, saw a big giant gator. I mean, massive gator took off. Yeah,
that's awesome.
So about 5 minutes after that, just flipping around, just hammered it. I'm like, it's a 20-pound catfish or something. Like I thought it was a huge catfish.
Did it kind of dead weight you?
It just bent the rod over more than a 4-pound bass, whatever, So I'm like, and I got a couple cranks on it. John jumped up by then. He's like, what do you got going on? And it came up and it flashed on its side, and you see a side that wide, and you're like, okay. He's like, that's a big one.
So how much did it weigh?
It was like 7. When we first weighed it, it was 7 1/4.
That's awesome.
Nice.
We put it in the box because I needed to get myself together.
Or
Because when I got it close to the boat, he's like he didn't even have a net out or anything. He just he's like, we'll grab it. Like I don't know. He's caught big fish before.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like, oh my god, I wish we had a net. So he's leaning over to grab it, and it hit the boat a couple times. He's like, you're gonna lose it. But, yeah, he's like, you're gonna lose it. I couldn't keep it off the boat. I mean, it's 7 pounds on a moderate action rod.
It's funny.
I couldn't keep him off the boat.
The same thing happened when I caught my PB.
Oh, he's like, you're gonna lose it.
What is it with that?
Man.
No.
What is it with nobody? Whenever we catch our PBs, like nobody has a net out.
Right.
When I caught a 8-pounder on the Potomac, and of course, it's like first thing in the morning, no net out, and it comes the same thing comes up rolls, and my buddy's digging for the net, trying to get it.
I was freaking out.
Fortunately for me,
he wasn't freaking out. I was like, he's like, hey,
dude,
just relax. I'm like, all right, I got it.
I would have absolutely been
I took a
losing it.
couple deep breaths and got him back up to the surface, and he grabbed it. Once he grabbed it, I'm like, whew. I just had to I needed a little bit.
Almost.
So I was like, hey, fill the, pump the live well up.
Once you get a hold of it, it's the best feeling. Your anxiety level right before that is so high, and then you get your hands on it, and you're like,
yep. He handed it over to me. I popped the hook out, and he's like, oh, let's see how much it weighs. So he weighed it, and it was like 7 1/4.
That's awesome, man.
And I was like, hey, pump up the live well real quick. I have a measuring board with me, like one of those rollout ones. Yeah. I was like, let me get that out and get myself together because the adrenaline was all pumped. Oh, yeah. So we put him in the box, and I got my stuff out, got everything together, and when we locked it in on the scale, it was 7 even. So it weighed high the first time we weighed it, but I was
That fish is long.
It was 24 inches.
Yeah.
So
dude,
it's definitely the body of a future.
That's a 10.
9-10 pounder. Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually,
there's a picture of it on the board.
Hard to tell.
See, it was
kind of hard to tell from the picture. It almost looks spawned out.
Maybe. Could have been a giant male, maybe. I don't know.
I don't see.
He said no. He's like,
nah,
that's a female.
Definitely a female.
Yeah.
It doesn't have. It didn't have that big. It didn't look like it had that big
It didn't have those two big
Yeah, exactly.
It didn't.
So it might.
But it was this wide on its side. Like it had big giant flat sides on it.
It might have been.
Can we pull up that picture again? I'm trying to figure out if this is a true Florida strain or if that looks more like an F1 to y'all. It kind of looks like an F1 to me. Like, it doesn't look like a true Florida bass.
My guess was Florida strain only because of how shut down the fish were.
They don't
because of the cold weather.
They don't put F1s in there.
He's like, when it gets cold,
it's either
these Florida fish just shut down, and they were shut down that day. The sun was out. It started to warm up a little bit, and we finally got a bite.
And you think that's a genetic thing with these fish?
Oh,
like
100%.
Genetically in the stream.
That's what I have always heard.
Florida stream will shut down.
A cold front
will shut them down like nothing.
And it did.
Like there is no fish in existence in a lake.
Yep. Even the next day when we
them.
fished on Marion, we didn't catch fish until the sun was out, middle of the day when it started to heat back up some. They were all on beds though. Like we were bed fishing.
Were
the
you able
next
to see
day.
them?
Oh yeah,
Sight fishing.
Yeah,
That's
it was
awesome.
fun.
That's
You
one,
were
that's one of my
you
favorite
bed fishing
things
a lot
to
with like throwing Neds or.
We actually ended up using just a weightless fluke. If you flip that weightless fluke on there and just let it sit, sometimes you had to hit the fish with it a couple times, get them mad.
That's the cool thing about bed fishing is there's so many different techniques that you can do that are all effective, and everybody has their own. Everybody has their own style of doing it, and we could be. You said you were throwing a weightless fluke.
Yes.
Right. I typically
you could have done it.
I throw a lizard.
Yeah.
Like that's my favorite bed fishing bait is a lizard. Like if I know fish are on beds, I'm throwing a lizard.
John caught a few on a jig.
But
so he would hit them in their side sometimes, like bump it off of them. He's like, watch the next time you throw it in, it's gonna turn on it, and it would.
He would physically aggress the fish with a jig, and then the fish would turn on the jig because you've done.
So you got to
hit
learn
in the side, like.
Well, you got to learn how to read the fish.
Yeah. See,
So
this is
different
new
fish
to
are
me
gonna
because here you can't really do that too often
because you can't see them.
because you can't see them. This
Right.
was dead. I mean, it was clear.
I do the Lockery
Lake Marion was super clear.
So you have to be.
We saw them.
You have to. It takes a lot of practice, and you have to really learn how the fish is going to react. So you can tell, just by dragging your bait through. I can pretty much tell what I need to do to make that fish hit.
Yep.
Sometimes it'll be a certain place on the bed,
A little spot like this,
like the size of a $half dollar.
Yep.
Right.
That's
And if
that's
you don't
kind
hit
of how
that
these.
spot, it won't even react to your bait.
Yep.
But if you hit that one little spot on the bed, it'll just be like boom.
Yep.
Right
they,
down to
they
it.
could be off the bed and they see when it gets to that spot, they're
Right to
right
it.
on it. And that thing's like that spot right there.
Sometimes you can tell
Flip that fluke in there.
Right.
just by how they're acting. Like you can slap them with a line.
Mm-hmm.
If they like turn away from your bait, they come down, they'll nose to your bait and they turn away. You could just take your line and just go like that. And if they're real close to your line, slap them with your line and they'll turn right back around to it. Bed fishing is one of my favorite things to do.
He's good at it. John's done it. He's been all over the East Coast for the most part, so he knows more about it than I did.
It's crazy how
It's fun.
detailed it gets though.
That was
We caught a lot more fish on that the next day on Lake Marion than we did.
That's a massive lake, the biggest
Huge.
lake in South Carolina.
Huge.
Yeah. It was-
Cypress,
what was it?
cypress
Did you
trees
Google that?
everywhere.
Huh?
Did you Google that?
Yes.
I wouldn't have known that.
I think I told you that too.
Well, he told me, but then I obviously, like he's telling me, I had to go on
It is.
Google and be like, okay, well, what other details is there about it? You know what I mean?
There's a lot of big lakes down there.
I fished Loch Raven before. I fished Lake Anna before.
Anna's a big lake.
Anna is a big lake. Anna is a really big lake. I'm really looking forward to getting my freaking boat back and going down there and doing that. Speaking of my freaking boat, there's actually an email on my phone right now that I have not read that has to do with my boat, and maybe I should read that.
I hope it's good.
Maybe it could be good. It could be that. Hey, we're shipping
I
your
don't
boat
hope
know
it's
back.
what
good
it
news.
was. It had something. It had something
gotta
to do
be
with
at
them
some
like
point.
going through APG for something. I don't know.
Going through APG, like
APG FCU, the bank.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
So
You should probably read it.
either
because
way,
you'll be
you know what?
You might be less stressed if you read it.
I'm not super
way or
stressed.
another.
I'm not super. You know what?
You sound super stressed.
I can tell you right now, I got to take a drive first thing tomorrow morning to go pick up mine. So I hope you get yours back.
Yeah, but you got new
I was
toys
wondering
in yours.
how
Yeah,
if
okay.
yours was close.
It's done.
Good.
It's
Okay, so as of, I don't know if this is good or bad.
Let's see.
As of today, I'm reading it, Jake Martin. I am reading it. As of today, good morning, Chad. I did get a hold of APGFCO on Monday, and then I was sick the last few days. I am getting your order placed today. I apologize for the delay. That's what the email states.
Oh.
So I'm assuming that after all of my paperwork went through, yada, 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 going through the bank to make sure that they still have, because the bank is the holder of the title until the entire boat is paid off.
Oh, right. So like the HIN
Yeah.
number and
So
stuff like that.
because I
Yeah,
guess
that's-
essentially it's like a new title because it's going to be like a new haul number because it's a new
Yeah.
haul and everything. They had to go through APGFCU to do all of this different stuff to put this new boat into my name. So essentially what I'm getting out of this email is that all went through and my boat has now been ordered, which is I think about a 6 to 8 week time period. So let's pray on that 6 weeks.
Sweet.
I was really hoping to have it back in May, to be honest with you.
It might be less time than you think because they already have the components to put on. It's literally just switching it over.
you just need the hull. Everything else is there. So
Right. I mean, it's your trailer, it's your motor, it's your trolling motor, it's your electronics. The only thing now is Ranger putting on the power poles, or is that Bowers doing
that's
that?
coming back, and Bowers is throwing those on.
What about the jack plate? Is Ranger doing that?
Ranger's doing that because they took it with the boat.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it'll be it just like he sent it.
Right.
Is how we'll get it back.
Mm-hmm.
I
Just
would,
green.
Yeah, I would
green.
think that hopefully it's less than that time frame because, like you said, it is getting close. But I mean, luckily you know about 15 different people that are willing to take you out whenever you want. So
Well, I mean,
And you have the John boat.
the John boat. I mean, the John boat got me and Steve started from point A, and it'll continue us and keep us going to point B. It's already got us out on the water a couple of times this year. And I've had multiple people ask me, "What's up with the John boat? You gonna sell the John boat?" And like, I don't even hesitate. There's no way I'm selling the John boat.
No way.
It's already paid off not selling the John boat
right.
because
Well,
like
no.
first thing that happened when I bought this Ranger is nothing against Ranger, but I had a freaking boat malfunction, and guess what? I had to go back to fishing the John boat anyways. So if I would have got rid of it, I would have just been sitting at home sopping.
Hey Brian, thanks for joining in. We were talking about Steve's PB that he caught down on Lake Marion in South Carolina. He caught a 7-pounder down there. So new PB, that's all you really missed. And then Chad who's hopefully getting his boat back soon. So glad to see you join us, Mr. Setlock. And I do want to give a shout out to a couple other people. We have Mr. Tracy Fitzgerald on here giving Tony a shout out.
Who? Love it. Absolutely.
Let me get one of them frosty boys.
We love us some Tracy. Pete, what's going on? Riverboat Rob, always good. Ken
What a
Berry.
do, Rob?
Mike
What's up,
Martin, thanks for
everybody?
watching. Jake Martin, as always. We appreciate all of you guys watching.
You know how nice it is to be able to drink beer again?
Has it been an all-month thing where you haven't been able to drink anything?
I've been able to drink, but I have to be an adult about it because I have ridiculous amounts of responsibility every day for 4 weeks.
Right. So so give us a walkthrough, Tony. Speak clearly into the mic, new mic system here.
So first of all, happy to be back. You know, this new setup is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Love it.
What
What did you change?
So I had
All these
this-
mics, I haven't seen any of the
Okay.
mics. I know that, so he's got the new camera set up. The lights, I think, were the last thing that you had before I had to leave. But this is cool as shit, man. I love it. And there's so much more room. The 2 monitors, man, it's banging. That's the deal.
Cool.
But, so basically, the course was 99% mental. Like, intellectually based material. So at first I was like, oh, whatever, too easy. Like, I went to college, how hard can it be? 200 or 200 to 300 slides of information per day, testable information, and you have a test every week with minimum of 70% to pass. There were people that did not pass. So, I mean, dude, I studied every night for 5-6 hours. Like, it was brutal. A lot of hit times, but, you know, I wouldn't say it was overly difficult. You just had to stay on top of it. So there was no playing around. You know, it was like my weekends, I studied. Like, I didn't go out until last night. I went out with some of the guys because we were done.
it was a full month of sacrifice. A full month of sacrifice.
I mean, I wouldn't call it sacrifice. I would call it work. But yes,
Right.
but it was a different level of work for sure.
Well, it felt like sacrifice to us because you weren't here.
Well, I mean, I'm happy it's done. It's out of the way. I'm ready to be back, and I come back at a perfect time, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
The whole time, it's like I'm not worried about my boat being worked on because it's like whatever. I can't use it anyway. So it
You
just
haven't
works out.
missed much, really. I mean, it's heated up a little bit. You can definitely go out and catch some right now.
Yep.
But like that main, it's freaking go time. It hasn't hit yet.
It's got to be close.
It's.
to-
I mean,
close.
don't get me wrong. I think I
close.
saw, like I said the other weeks, you saw Stucky landed for 23 pounds. I mean,
Yeah.
it's there.
right.
It's there.
Well, that's always kind of how it is this time of year. There's, you know, a couple guys will go out and whack them, but I mean, every tournament that's really happened so far, there's been 1 or 2 guys that dominate, and everybody else is, you know, there's a really steep drop off.
Last weekend was probably the most consistent that I've seen this year so far.
I talk about for y'all's tournament.
Yeah. So, it was 21, 18, and then 4 for 16.
Right.
So, there was a lot of big fish getting caught that day.
How many limits were brought in?
Not that many.
Not that many.
Yeah, they're not catching a lot of fish, but they're catching, good quality fish.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's like I said, that's just kind of the time of year you can go out and catch good ones, but I've never really caught numbers this early. Usually May is when the numbers start, but I'm excited to get up on Conowingo and play with LiveScope for hours on end because I have not played with it yet, but I'm ready. So. Oh, stupid question. I should know this. This might help some of y'all out there. Do you have to break in a lower unit?
Yes.
There is a break-in period. Is it RPMs and all that other stuff, or is
Yes.
it just okay?
So
I'm gonna have to
just
do all
Google how to break in Evinrude lower unit or whatever it is.
Is it a brand new lower unit?
It's a reman.
Yeah, you'll definitely need to break it in.
A brand new lower unit from Evinrude. Guess how much it costs?
$5,000.
$7,000.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, you're
knew that.
better off almost going and do a new motor at that point.
Oh yeah.
I
Well,
don't know. They
not
do.
really.
What's a new motor? Like 23
So,
grand for a 200?
For
It's in the
a
20s.
for a
sure.
250. Because Kevin's friend just bought a Merc 250. It was $27,000.
Oh,
Jesus.
shoo.
Oh, I have a horror story, and it's bad, and it sucks because it's a close friend of mine.
Hey, Deborah, how you doing?
I won't say his name because I've been there, but he got out of an 18-foot Triton recently, and went to a 21-footer. And again, I'm not saying his name because I don't want to throw his name out there and all this and the other. But used boat, 21-foot Triton, 10-foot poles on it, put all brand new electronics on it. He's owned this boat for maybe 2 weeks. Blew it up today on Lake Anna. Blew the power head.
It
I'm
happens.
like, oh my god, that would suck.
Wait.
Blew the power head.
Who?
Huh?
What
didn't
color's
say-
the boat?
Oh, not Dustin. Not Dustin.
Oh,
No, not
no,
Dustin.
Dustin.
I was
has-
like,
Dustin
dude.
has
Dustin's is
a
brand new. No, it's a used TR21. He got it. I think he paid 15-ish for it. Pretty clean boat, garage kept boat. But it had a older Mercury 2.
Matt, what's up, dude? Thanks for
Yeah.
joining in, brother.
Nothing that
How
you
you
would-
doing, man?
But
Oh, Ken Berry on the Irish whiskey tonight.
ooh, that's what I'm talking
Like
about.
the older Mercury 250 Pro XS.
Like it was I think it was an EFI. So it was an
Wow.
older boat.
EFIs are bulletproof too.
That's- I know.
That takes a lot to blow
Right.
one of those up.
So
There was definitely something.
the next one though, they were not bulletproof.
no,
Yeah, the Optimax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, those early DF,
You
like I had
Optipops?
fixed, like the early Optimaxes, the fixes, they were terrible.
Yeah.
But I feel so bad for him, man, because it's like, damn, I've been there.
Yeah.
I mean, I blew my Ranger up
I've been
within
there
3 weeks
Twice.
when I bought it because I didn't know any better.
Yep.
At least I had a couple. I
then you're
got a
like-
couple years out of mine before I blew it up.
Cool.
It's a hard lesson.
I just
man.
spent all this money and now I got
Yep.
get in there. Couple more thousand.
It sucked when your lower unit let go at Anna.
Yeah, but I mean that's.
It wasn't that bad.
At least you
Like
hadn't just bought the boat though.
Yeah, I should have hit it with a hammer a couple times and claimed insurance, but I was like, I'm not gonna do that. It is what it is.
Nah, it's not worth it.
Right. It's exactly. It's like. I mean, if I thought I would have hit something, I would have said, yeah, I hit something, but I was in 40 foot of water. I didn't
Yeah.
hit shit.
no.
So, but it is what it is.
Nah, dude, I know it busy with the kids and everything. I'm glad that you're watching the show. Thanks for taking the time to tune in and see what we got going on. I hope you and the wife and the kids and everybody's going good. Scuba. We have, you know what? I said I have. It's been a struggle for me. Scuba's kind of been out here cleaning up on them, and I'm just on the back of the boat or on the side of the boat making my casts, and it just hasn't been. He makes about double the amount of casts that I do.
That's
I will
part of.
say.
That's part of it.
It's also part of it, but when it's like super slow, I will say like you have
I'm a
the,
grind-
you have the mentality
I'll
to just
grind.
keep grinding.
I'll grind.
It's time to eat a sandwich.
Yeah. I can't go out every day of the week, or I can only get out there maybe 2 at 3 at best.
Yeah.
So when I do, I'm gonna grind. I'm gonna cast it. I'm
Just
gonna
wanna
cast
get what you can
500 times to someone else's 200.
Yeah.
So that's part of. I wasn't tearing them up, but I was at least.
I
I
mean,
was at
on
least
a
putting some fish
day,
in the boat.
I think what did you call it, like 5 to 7 fish?
Yeah.
You caught a limit that day.
Yeah. On
You know,
a day that was tough.
On a day that was
I don't
tough.
think anybody was killing them except for Jake. Like
No,
stuff
and
he has.
I still have no idea where that was. He's pretty good at blurring that.
I mean,
stuff
I would
out.
blur that out
I would
too.
too.
Yeah,
I would too.
yeah. I mean-
I even talked to him. But I'm not even going to ask where you were.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like, good for you.
Oh, did you talk to him about him catching the 23?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I haven't reached out. I haven't talked
I
to
know
him
where
since
he
seen him on the
was.
boat.
He was not in Haverty Grace.
Yeah.
He was not in Haverty because
Well,
I was
had
in
a-
Haverty Grace that day, and it sucked.
I have an idea, but it's just like the dude's on to something juicy. And that's cool. And
Yeah.
that's all we're going to say. We're going to leave him alone and what he's doing alone. We're
Well, you
going
know
to
what?
talk about our own shit.
The other part of it is too. Is like that's the chase is all part of it. Like,
Right.
If I see somebody catch 23 pounds, I'm going to chomp at the bit to go.
Yeah.
And
Here's the-
Yeah,
learn
somebody
how to
figure
do it
out
myself.
what the hell's
Right.
Here's the thing.
I'm gonna
though.
try to
This
catch
time
That's
of
what
year-
I have to beat. I have to beat that now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This time of year, you can catch 23 pounds one day and 0 the next.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they are moving like crazy.
Yep.
right now.
Absolutely.
They're not.
It's the competitive energy, though. You got to, like, depending on who you are, you got to learn how to channel it for the good instead
Yeah.
of the negative.
Oh,
Being
yeah.
competitive.
So here's my question.
I know how competitive
I'm not going
you
to let
are,
it ruin
too.
my day that
Yeah.
somebody else is
Right.
out there.
Are you
Killing
guys
it.
going to put the time in on Conolingo this year now that you got a real boat?
It's I definitely think we'll be there more. I definitely kind of have it in my mind that I want to hit the flats
Okay.
this year. I would love to get some more time in on the flats and get some more confidence on the flats. That being said,
If you can hit Conolingo if you get your boat back by May, and you
Yeah.
can hit Conolingo in May,
It's so
do
much
it.
fun, dude. It's
It's
incredible.
ridiculous. I've called it 320-pound bags.
we're gonna be
Largemouth
when
fishing,
the
right?
boat comes
Yeah.
back. We're gonna be all over the place. I'm gonna openly say it on mic, and I'm not gonna say it as just like an excuse as to why. Joppatown is a place that we have confidence in. It's a place that we love to fish. It's a boat ramp that's really close to the house.
Yeah.
So we're there
I
often.
literally meet you there on my way home from work.
Exactly.
And we fish. It works out well
It
for
just
during
works.
the week.
It works that way. So we become Joppa junkies because it just works.
Yeah.
I mean,
but-
same reason I fish down there.
Yeah.
It's
You know,
convenient.
it's a mile and a half from my house.
Absolutely.
And there's plenty of fish.
Plenty
There's
of
plenty of fish around.
Plenty of fish. The issue that I had with the flats is not that I couldn't go to the flats and catch fish with my John boat.
just not
You're so
convenient.
limited to how much area you can cover.
Yeah.
Especially if there's any kind of wind or
Yep.
you know.
Yeah.
The
it
Ranger
can
will
get
be
pretty
much better for
gnarly up
fishing
Yeah.
out there.
So to me, just going to the Ranger just gave me a different element of being able to fish Conowingo, being able to fish the flats, going down to Lake Anna, going up to St. Lawrence. Wherever I want to go fishing and do different stuff, it opens up different avenues for me. Where I'm not going to pull my John boat all the way up to New York and try to go smallmouth fishing on one of the main lakes. I can get 20 minutes from the ramp, and that's as far as I'm going to be able to go. It just doesn't seem. And it's
20 yards from
Yeah,
the ramp.
really.
and it's like it doesn't even. It's not legitimate. It's like an illegitimate way to go attempt
sure.
to do something like
Yeah.
that.
I think one of the things.
So
that
I
you're-
felt limited.
I think one of the things you're gonna love about that boat is not having to like super eyeball the weather when you want to go somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't really do that too much
But
now,
you-
but we were
were
fishing
limited,
at
though.
Joppatown.
We were limited.
You were limited. If you
We
wanted
had to go find a
Cono-
cove,
If you
no
wanted to go
doubt,
to Conowingo,
no doubt.
you had to go pay. You had to pay attention. Go on a perfect day.
I do want to get to Tracy's question.
Yeah, I was just going back to read that too.
So Tracy's question, and I'll
Gromster, what's up?
What's up, Grom?
I'm gonna let Paul answer this one.
We're
first.
seamen.
But he says, as a non-boat owner, what do you stay away from for an early grade from your boat with some pointers? So basically, Tracy, correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like you're asking, what do you do to keep your boat lasting as long as you possibly can? So I'll let Paul start on this because then I got some things.
So it's going to start from let's start from purchasing the boat. If you don't know a lot about boats, make sure that you have somebody with you that is fairly knowledgeable about boats. Before you buy the boat, take it to a mechanic. Take it to your mechanic. If as long as the buyer will let you check it out. Have your
Right.
mechanic check it out. Say, hey, I'll give you, I'll pay your gas money. If we can take it to my, if it's local, that's sometimes it's a little hard to do. If it's not local, generally there are, you'll be able to find mechanics nearby, and if you just give them a call, they'll be willing to check out a boat for you that you're going to purchase. So that's the first thing is just getting that boat checked out before you purchase it to make sure that there's not any serious issues. The second thing is just reading up on what your general maintenance is. You know, for my motor, there's not a lot of general maintenance. It's a carb motor. I don't have to do a lot.
Right.
But if you have like a HPDI Yamaha, you have to make sure that you periodically clean out the VST. You gotta because the VST pumps will get clogged. The VST pump gets clogged, your motor doesn't get oil, boat blows up. So you got to know what to look for in the specific motor. So you want to read up on the motor that you get to make sure that you're taking care of it, knowing what common problems are for that motor so that you can get ahead of them before it happens. Like the early Yamaha shows had a harmonic balancer issue where they used plastic pulleys or plastic gears for some reason on the harmonic balancer, and those gears will strip off. Those gears strip off, boom, motor blows up. So you have to know when does this happen? When should I look for it? What are the symptoms of it? So you really want to study your motor, what kind of issues it might have. Now you'll end up being like me, where you think every little odd sound is your motor about to blow up.
Yeah,
because I freak out.
And then you're gonna run it wide open
I feel
RPMs
that.
anyways.
I
feel that.
all the time.
He's like, I hear a ticking in my motor. Wah!
I don't hear it when it's wide open.
Dude, any weird noises or like what's worse than that are weird smells. God, that's the worst. Like I'll be running down the lake and
nothing that smells bad about a two-stroke.
No. Like I'll be running down the lake or I'll smell a bonfire. I'm like, oh my God, I'm on fire.
Right.
Even though I know it's
Realizing you're going
impossible.
60 miles an hour and there's no way you're smelling your motor.
Still, though, it'll freak you out though. You start smelling electrical burn, and you're
Oh
like,
yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like,
dude.
What
What
the
is this?
hell's that?
Definitely
But
for
I
sure.
hope that's not from me.
So what about you, Tony? What ideas do you have there?
So I would say sea trial is the most important when you're buying. So if you don't get a chance to sit on the boat and be on it, make sure it runs correctly, it gets on plane, it hits RPMs to where generally over 5,500 means that it's running correctly. That's pretty important. Biggest thing, and you kind of already touched on it, was
before you go on, I just want to adding on to doing your research on the boat. Like if you look at a specific model, get on some forums. Find out what the top speed of that boat is. Find out, how many RPMs that motor turns, so that you know what to look for when you go on that test.
What's up, Jason? Thanks for joining, bro.
Because
Jason,
somebody who may not.
Jason the
What's
Hammer.
going on, Jason?
Jason the Conowingo man.
Jason the 5 pound smallmouth king on Conowingo.
Wait, when did that happen?
You know, it's
Again, they doubled up on 5 pounders the other day.
When?
Last week.
Damn it.
Smallmouth?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Ooh.
Good thing I didn't see that. I would have came home. I would have said, "Fuck
Right.
the rest of this school."
Yeah.
Well,
Where's
freak
my
the
boat?
rest of this school, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, really.
like 2 weeks ago. I think 2 weeks ago he caught 5 pounders in back-to-back casts.
I'm done. I can't even compete up there with them guys. I'm
Oh,
happy
dude,
to get
Jason's
third.
a hammer up there.
I'm like,
That's what I'm
geez.
trying to say. You just got to go up there and you just got to go fish for fun because you ain't going to beat most of them. You got like Big Dave and all them guys up there. You forget
That
about
place
it,
is
bro.
stacked, dude.
That
It's
guy's-
loaded.
That guy always catches them,
I've never even
and that's been
personally.
going on for a long time.
I haven't even personally met Jason before,
Jason.
but I know who he is on
Funny
Facebook
story.
just from seeing pictures.
I went to high school with Jason.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Jason
a
was a
small
year
world.
behind me, and his sister was a year ahead of me.
That guy.
Yeah, with me and
that
Kevin.
guy, Dave.
When me and
Hammer.
Kevin got
He's been
third
cleaning
up
up
there,
hammers.
that was one of the most proud finishes I've ever had fishing because I was like, dude, we just got third against this field. I'll take that,
That was
all
a good
day.
That was a good.
But anyway, back to the boat conversation. I would say Paul said it really, really well. Is understanding what you're buying, right? So my story with this is when I first bought my Ranger, I bought it. I was 19 years old. It was a really bad financial decision, but we won't go there. I went up to the dealer to look at a Triton 21 footer, and it wasn't running correctly. It was smoking like crazy, like it had been fogged. Like it was not good. So I was not going to buy it, and I drove 6 hours up there. It was at a dealership, and I'm walking out, and I see this Ranger. It's beautiful. It looks good. And, they give me hours. It's like, a low amount, like 100 hours, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. Price was right.
That Fick motor looked beautiful on the back of it.
That is
What was
exactly
it?
what we're going to get to.
Evinrude Fick.
Evinrude Ficht. Didn't do any research on the motor. It was there. The moment was right. It was kind of like meeting a chick at a bar, right? It's
Well,
like,
hours
this
is
is going to
well
happen.
hours, right?
So, yeah, right, exactly. So I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, I'm going to buy this thing. And I did, and I never one time researched the motor. And this is how stupid I was back then, right? So first thing I do is I go and buy some 2-stroke oil. Now, this is an Evinrude DFI. It requires Evinrude XD50 or better. What did I buy? Walmart TCW3. Put it in my oiler. Didn't know any better. I figured 2-stroke oil was 2-stroke oil. Never heard of anything different. All I ran growing up was piece of shit carbureted outboards that took 20 minutes to start and smoked up the whole fucking thing. Anyway, so
say 2-stroke oil was 2-stroke oil in the motocross community, and you have somebody fist fighting people.
see, like I would have never figured that. So I pour Walmart SuperTech TCW3 in there, and within probably 6 hours, I got a hole in my block. And I'm like, oh my God.
So my question.
Did you use
there, is
JB
it
Weld to try to patch it?
Was it because
Maybe.
Was it because of the oil, or did it fry the PCM like it normally does in the FICT?
So I don't think the PCM was bad, and the reason I say that is because I called a couple mechanic shops around, and they were like, "There's no way we're working on a FICT. It's just not going to happen."
Oh God!
So last thing you want to hear.
Right. So
Yeah.
one shop, Intercoastal, actually had a spare power head, and they took everything off of mine and put it on, and it ran good for another 3 years. Until it blew up again, because it's a FICT, and that's what they did.
Well, the biggest issues with the FICT was the PCM would overheat because there was a water cooler that ran through the computer.
Yep.
And the way that it was the hose line was ran, they always clogged.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
So it would clog, and then your PCM wouldn't get
Fried.
Wouldn't. You know,
Yes.
it essentially would get fried.
Yeah.
When it got fried, motor goes boom.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, FICT is...
There's lots of things that make the
Dude,
motor go boom.
when I blew up that thing the first time, everything I researched on the FICT was like horrible. And I was like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot.
Why did I do this?
Exactly. Oh, 100%.
So after that, did you use the right 2-stroke
After
oil
that-
and all that?
so
you got 3 years out of it.
I got another 3 years out of the power, and the power head that the guy put on for me, he only
I'd
charged
say it
me...
was
But did
that
you run the
Walmart.
same oil?
No.
Oh no, I had him taken.
I'd say it probably was that 2-stroke oil then.
So
the Walmart.
could have been. So I got for now when that motor ran, it ran. I mean, it was fast. Like it was every bit as fast as my E-Tech. My E-Tech's an
FICT
HO.
motors were fast.
Like-
they were real fast.
Dude, it would run. Don't get me wrong, and it actually used less fuel. It used less fuel and less oil than my E-Techs, like considerably. But it just, I got 3 years out of it. The guy charged me 50% on everything. Then he would usually charge you like, look, man, I'll put this on here for you. I would usually give you a warranty, but because it's a FICT, I'm not going to give you a warranty. I'll give you a good deal. It might last you a year. It might last you a day. I'm just going to do a favor for you. And I got 3 years out of it. So it kind of worked out, you know. I think it only charged me like $2,500 to do everything. So I was like,
My
yeah.
power head was $6,000.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
God.
yeah, that's a
So,
deal.
but anyway, Tracy, that's the long answer. So do your homework. If you're getting something older, just make sure you're aware of what you're getting. Now, once you have it, Paul already mentioned it was that the scheduled maintenance because every outboard is different. My biggest thing is I try not to run my motor super hard all the time. Some motors are fine, but you know. I don't run my balls out all the time. Like once a trip, I'll run it and pin it just to run it real hard.
Clean it out.
Yeah, but I don't, if I'm going spot to spot in a tournament, unless it's a long run, I'm
They're made
5,000
to-
RPMs.
They're made to run.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not going to hurt it, but it's just, for me, it's a peace of mind thing.
A lot of times, that ends up not running it hard. Ends up another reason for a motor to go boom. Because you end up with
Carbon
buildup.
As we're sitting here talking about motors are designed to run this way, this motor is designed this way.
Any motor.
I just think I'm the type of person where it doesn't matter how it's designed to run. If you run something wide open everywhere you go, you're going to have failure faster than if you were to just take it easy on it. No matter what, it could be an F1 racing motor.
I agree with you.
So if you have an F1 racing motor and you drive it city driving, you will blow that motor up.
You know what I'm trying to
If you
say.
have a Ferrari, even a Ferrari, like not
Yeah.
even a F1 racing motor, you take a Ferrari or a Lamborghini.
Yeah, you can't
If
baby
you
them.
don't run them hard,
They're meant to be run.
they will run
Yeah.
like crap.
Like they're meant to be run, but if you run it wide open, full throttle, everywhere it goes, I do think you will have premature failure earlier than if you were to run something, but just run it maybe a little bit lower in your RPM range.
You know, I've seen the funny thing about outdoors
Kind of tit for tat.
is I've seen people that
I'm a little
don't
bit more
run them hard.
reserved.
I'm too.
I've seen people that don't run them hard and it blown it up under 100 hours. I've seen people who run them wide open all the time, like charter boats, wide open all the time, pretty much everywhere they're going wide open. 2,000-3,000 hours.
Yeah, but those are Suzuki's. That's a whole different. No, I'm kidding.
The Suzuki's are a different animal.
Suzuki's and Hondas, man, they're crazy.
They're just freaking wild.
They're not very fast. But
They don't
man,
have the
they're-
performance,
they-
but
they were-
goddamn,
they
they
were-
ain't gonna leave you stranded. That's for sure.
The other thing about extending the life of your boat is know where to run and know where not to run. I always idle everything first.
Oh no, that just extends the life of your lower unit. It's fine. Nobody
Well,
needs a skeg.
Yeah, but you also don't want a hole in the bottom of your boat from a giant rock
Definitely
on Conway.
do some research on where you're going.
Yeah.
Don't be like me.
Check
and
some
decide
charts
to
out.
run the shit
Charts.
wide open
Yeah,
first.
check out some charts
Get some
and
good charts. Get
least
some
have
good
an idea
charts.
of
Look
what
at
you're
some good
getting into.
charts. Yeah. Have an idea of what you're getting into.
And remember that
Like
the
if you
charts
went
don't show everything.
down where we were in Santee Cooper and didn't know what you were doing.
Oh my gosh.
You're not making it far.
I mean,
There's-
I feel like
I was
if
telling
John
Chad.
hadn't have been down there before,
Right, he's
to
been
like
there.
halfway know some of what he
Yep.
was doing, it would have been a completely different
Oh,
experience.
I got another big thing.
You're
so
hitting something.
if your boat's gonna sit for a while, like if you know you're not gonna fish December, January, February, put some non-ethanol in your boat and run it for a little bit prior to that. So just keep. I don't run non-ethanol all year like some guys do, but
Dump
if I
some
know
starch on in there and call it a day.
yeah, like if I know my boat's gonna be sitting, I'm gonna try to get that
Yeah.
ethanol fuel out of the system.
Yep.
It could be in the tank, but I don't want it sitting in the fuel lines, in the motor, and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So just
Yeah, I just-
another idea.
I just throw some starch on in there. And call it
That's
a day.
Yeah,
fine,
start
too.
trying some good stuff. I swear on Seafoam. I'm a huge Seafoam person.
I've actually.
I mean, you'll get out and fish when it's cold anyway, though.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
like
my boat
really,
never really
our
seemed all that
downtime
cold.
isn't that much.
Okay,
we'll
so
fish
you're-
all the
and
way
you're-
through December and get back out there
These-
I
as soon as I can.
I
I
will
was
say
fishing the
too,
Upper Bay in
the
January.
right.
You know, so.
So
the two-stroke motors, dude. When you and now I get. Are you still have oil injection? So your fuel is separate from your oil.
Yes.
So, in a way, what I'm going to say is like kind of doesn't really apply to that, but two-stroke fuel holds a lot longer than
Oh yeah.
untreated fuel with oil
Mm-hmm.
in it. Like
Yeah.
just a regular regular fuel with no oil in it
Right.
will go bad way faster than a two-stroke
Than a
fuel
mixed-
that has mix in it. That being said, I don't really think it works the same way when you're talking a separate fuel tank and a separate oil tank. So I still think your fuel can obviously go bad, but I haven't had that issue with.
Yeah.
I mean, even the John boat on that Yamaha 30 is an oil injection system, and it's just regular fuel that just sits in the fuel lines. I left them freaking things sit for like 4 months, did not touch it. It had a full tank of gas in it. I
Man,
didn't
that's
even
why.
put it. Huh?
So I was just getting ready to mention that. So if you're going to let your boat sit, fill the tank up.
Exactly.
So if you don't have air, if there's no
Condensation.
air, you won't build condensation and you won't get water in it.
Yep.
So fill it. As long as you fill the tank up, you're good to go. Like you said, it had a full tank of gas in it.
So
What
but
I
mean,
really-
we fished all the way through December.
Yeah.
For the most part, we still got out there and
Like 2 or 3 months.
threw blade baits around.
Yeah.
So
Oh, dude.
so it really only sat for
Dude, I mean,
months.
my days of
Yeah.
fishing in December and January are over.
yeah.
They're totally done because duck hunting. I'm sorry.
Oh,
that
yeah.
will
Like-
change things.
I mean, dude, that's a great hobby, though.
I was gonna say you don't like
what I'm saying? Like,
going out there
No,
and throwing a
okay.
blade bait around.
No,
Like,
dude.
I love. Chad
I mean,
hates
it's
I
fun.
hate that
Like,
shit,
it's
dude.
fun.
I love
like,
throwing a blade.
I am
me
so
up.
ready to go
I'll do it
snowboarding
anytime.
when it
I
is that
love
season.
doing it.
Like,
Yeah,
I'll
Chad's
do
like,
it.
This is
Now,
terrible.
my follow-up question for you, Tracy, is: are you looking at buying something? And if so, what kind of sneak are we looking at here? Like, what are you just going to show up to the ramp with
Right.
a new fucking Phoenix?
Just gonna show up with a
Like,
bullet.
Icon.
But everybody, oh my god, don't even get me started on them. I can't stand them.
Who?
Now, not that I
What?
disagree with. I don't think they're a poorly run company. I think they have integrity and this, that, and the other. But like the boat's like $130,000. So I'm like, why?
Okay.
Why?
Why not?
Because who can afford?
A Ranger 521's 125,000.
I mean, okay, but that's after taxes. The Icon's
No,
130.
that's list price. Well, after
Wait, for real? That went up in the last few
they're
months.
They're 125,000 with all the equipment on it. The Icon is 135. That was fully loaded.
That is a really nice looking boat.
That
insane,
had
dude.
that Icon that was 135,000.
Yeah.
Also had 5 12-inch units on it. So
Five.
Five
everyone-
12-inch
everyone's
units.
in the back.
Everybody's running 3 up front now. Everybody. I mean, it's like,
Well, yeah, you're running
I saw
one for
some kind of
mapping.
16-inch unit
You're
on
running
the
one for
front, too.
mapping, one for live, and one for 360.
yeah, it's insane, dude. Like, it's, I don't know, man. Like, I beat this dead horse all the time. Like, I just can't, I cannot justify it. Like, I can't. Like, 80 to me is like,
I can't justify it either.
man. Like, that's
Yeah.
a lot. But I don't know, dude.
80's
Like,
that's like, so, I'm looking at a new boat. 80's my max.
yeah.
Like, I'm not buying a boat over 80.
So, now when you say 80's your max, I mean,
You're going to be able to get a boat for 80, but having it loaded out with two 12-inch units and two 10-inch
Well, you're gonna
units
take
and
your-
live.
He's already got
and
that, though.
So I already have.
Right.
That's the nice thing. I already have.
helps.
I have live scope.
Right,
I have
so
my.
you
I
shouldn't
have
have-
my Garmin
you
unit.
should have
so
no
I'm good.
problems
I'm
with
good
this
there. I need 2 units on the boat. That's all I really need.
so what
What
would
about
you,
power poles? Will you take
I
them
need
off?
power. No,
You'll get new
no.
ones.
I definitely want.
what would you sell your Champion for without, assuming you take off everything for your new boat, what would you sell the Champion for?
Probably 10.
Hear that, Tracy? 10? Skylar? Is he on? Skylar? Tell
Good
me.
luck with that.
Probably 10. And
Grams
I mean, that would be
That's
two.
pretty- that's pretty
that would be
fair
two
price.
9 two 9-inch units, all Trex and power
Oh, dude.
poles.
Oh, so
Grom-
you,
Grom's got
okay,
that
so the
sick-
9s would stay on.
Shit.
then.
It's a good deal.
Yeah, I'll pull my 10. I have a 9
Okay.
at my house. I'll pull my 10 off and my Garmin off.
That's pretty
and
fair,
put the
dude.
9 on.
Pretty-
Gramster,
It's
what
not
are
bad
you
at all.
what are you selling the jet boat for? You had it listed a while ago. I don't know if you're still selling it, but what are you selling it for? I gotta say,
Grom's got all
Gromster's-
kinds of. He's got all kinds of.
I know,
good
dude.
stuff.
Grom's jet boat is freaking sweet.
I love
thing
the
is
jet boat.
That thing is sick.
All those skis that he
Like,
puts up all the time. I'm like,
Yeah.
this guy's got all kinds of cool
freaking
stuff.
ripping, dude. Well, it's like so he's got so many skis, but they don't all run.
No, but that's cool.
What
Like,
he does, he buys skis for
he fixes
parts,
them.
and then he puts skis together
Yeah.
and like makes nice skis
yeah.
out of like
He
broken
just
down
finished one. It
skis.
looked like, and it,
Well, the Tiger Craft is sick.
Yeah,
that
that
Tiger
thing is
Craft he has is gnarly. Dude.
Yeah.
That thing is so sick. He's got like rad dudes
yeah, I
and
check
shit
out all
on
the
it.
stuff
Like
he posts up because
that's
he's got some cool stuff.
Yeah, well,
Actually-
dude, he's got a lot of. Grom is so mechanically capable at so many things.
That
Like
helps.
he is able to look at that that Ski-Doo hull or the hull, whatever the Tiger Craft hull in that, and just be like, I can put this in here and fit all this crap in here. And he started it from nothing. He took a motor out of something and put it in there, and then just like piece things together.
Actually, I got
4K,
something for
so
He
Grom.
said four grand with the trolling motor.
Grom,
Yeah.
if you know anybody that's selling like a blowed up 2-stroke dirt bike somewhere in the 80s or 90s, 125, 250, let me know. I'm looking for a project. Something cheap, like a couple $100, blowed up, lower.
He's probably got one.
Dude, I'm definitely like,
yeah, hold
People-
on, let me look at
dude,
my
these-
garage.
not to
I was
change the
gonna say
subject right now,
he
but
might
like,
have two.
people that are selling like
He's got one to rebuild, one for parts.
Dude,
Dude, I'm telling you, he's
people are
always got cool
selling
stuff.
like blown up like 1987 clapped out KX 125s for like $1,200. Like, who the hell wants to buy this? It's destroyed. It's almost impossible to find parts for. It's $1,200. It should be like $400. So if I'm off on the price, I'm sorry. Oh, we got that now. Jesus Christ. See, that's how long it's been. But no, Grom, if you know somebody who's looking to get rid of something for a decent price, let me know. I'm in the market. I like messing with stuff like that. The first motor I ever rebuilt was a 1983 Yamaha YZ 125. So I still have it.
I
Still
enjoy
runs.
that.
Oh, it's fun.
He
Dude,
actually
you guys-
he actually doesn't have the bike. He does have the 110s. He's into the pit bike thing. Grom, I got to get over there and ride the Gromster Funland. It's looking pretty cool. And I've been seeing your videos. You've been like ripping down the road and hit some trails. I got to bring the 110 over and experience that shenanigans.
Dude, last week when you guys made me so angry when Greg was talking about the 2-strokes versus 4-stroke, dude, I was seething because I'm a simple man. I'm a 2-stroke guy till death.
Wait, when was Greg talking about 2 strokes versus 4 strokes?
when he was on the show
I
last
don't
week.
remember this.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, I would never consider a two-stroke." I'm like, "Come on, man! Like, where's your passion?"
Are we talking about boat motors?
boat?
Are we talking about boat motors, or are we talking
'Cause
about
I mean,
dirt
now-
bikes?
If we're talking about a boat motor, 100%. If I had a choice, 4-stroke all.
Well, he
Yeah.
he was
At
talking
this
about
point.
boat motors, but he was like, "Yeah, like he was okay." So here's my
Some
thing.
of those old school two strokes.
Oh,
I've
badass.
been
But-
sending you those videos of those old school Mercury 2.5s recently.
oh, those things are nasty.
The way
Untouchable.
those things
Untouchable.
sound give me
They
a tingler.
People
Here's
use
the
them for
thing.
race boats and stuff.
Those if you go to a boat race today, you will
That's
still
what
see
you'll see.
those. You'll
Yeah.
still see them because
Yeah.
they're that good.
Yeah.
So like, here's my thing, Greg. I love you to death, buddy. We still need to fish together. We've never fished together, but Greg gets on here. My Triton was the fastest Triton since whoever set the land speed record. Gotcha. And then he was like, "Well, I would never get another two-stroke." I was like, "What? How can you sit here and say your Triton was the fastest thing since a jet boat, but your 4-stroke is better?"
Definitely
Well-
more reliable.
4-stroke's more reliable. They're better on gas.
Is it more reliable though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Even
Longevity,
from
I
the
think so.
world of dirt bikes, if you want to transfer dirt bikes over like
not even close,
two-stroke engines on dirt bikes, two-stroke engines in boat motors, you go over to the 4-stroke, the reliability just becomes so much
I
more.
agree with you on that aspect, but so if you have a brand new Pro XS 4-stroke and a brand new 0-hour EFI,
The Pro
I think they're
XS is
comparable.
lasting way longer.
I think they're very comparable. The Pro XS hasn't been out long enough.
I don't. You know what? You're probably, and Dan's right.
It's
Dan
been
is
out
like
for years.
Dan and Adam. 2-stroke for life. 2-stroke motors faster. The 2-stroke motors do have that different snap, but those 4-strokes have that bottom end torque
gonna say,
that
the
get that
power-
boat.
the power-
Sure, but
They
is there,
get that boat up on the plane and they pull hard all the way through your RPM range.
but is there a coincidence that we have
that
to have
Merc
V8s?
that Merc V8 is got a lot of low end.
What on the
because
2-strokes?
it's a
No.
V8.
It's got a lot. It's just got a ton of low end power. It's
Right.
a V8 4-stroke.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because
it
That's
has
what
to
I
be
mean.
the
I'm
V8.
talking about the 4-strokes have power all the way through the range.
Right.
Where your
Two-strokes-
2-strokes, you find that power range.
Yeah.
Now what's the little leader?
Which is
size
fast
on
every
the
time.
V8? So like my Everwood's I think a
4.8 or
3.1.
something.
It's really that much
Yeah,
more.
I think it's like
Wow,
4.8.
that's incredible. I didn't know it was that big.
So speaking of things that are overpriced, I saw this on Facebook. the
Is that
other
a
day.
tractor? What is that? Oh my god. That's amazing.
30.
Dude, that's funny.
At
You
first,
know
I thought it was
Did-
like if it was a diesel, like I would have been like, well, okay, because diesel motors.
You know, you
not
could take the
cheap.
motor, the trans.
But no, it's a gasser.
You know,
Does it say-
I had
Does
my
it say don't waste my time? I know what I got.
I had my
No
Dodge.
low ballers. Don't waste
Yeah.
my time. I know what
I have my Cummins outside. I had it listed on Facebook for like 10 whole minutes, trying to sell it with a salvage title.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's totaled. The motor and the transmission are good. The rear is good. The interior is
transmission was
good.
just-
What were you
The
looking
bed
at,
is
like
decent.
$4
Yeah, the
grand or
transmission
something?
was just like
Not that
rebuilt.
long ago,
yeah.
right?
I was gonna ask six for it.
Okay.
For everything, and
got
then
laughed
have
at.
somebody come in at like 5. I had like 3 people message me, and they're like, "I'll give you $100."
And then you're like, I can scrap it myself. For
And I was literally,
500.
dude, like, I was literally just like, I'm like, why are you wasting people's time? They're like, well, isn't the truck totaled? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, so I'll give you $100 for it. I was like, the tires are worth more than $100, bro. It's got freaking wheels on it.
Was one
You're
of
always
them?
gonna
I'm
get
just
that.
like, I don't even
Depending on where you
understand
post
like
it, you're
people's
gonna get
mentality with this right now.
Was-
It's
was
like, why did you even waste your time messaging me?
Was one of the person's names Sony Tolt?
Why do I feel like it could be?
I would do if that thing wasn't rusted out, I probably would have been like, look, buddy, I'll give you like 3-4.
Yeah, the frame's rusted out. I listed in there that the frame is
Couldn't you
rusted
swap
out.
everything
Like I hit
onto your
nothing.
Dodge?
I could, but mine still runs.
Right.
So it's like now, if it wasn't rotted away, and because I mean, I have access to a shop, being where I work and stuff, and those guys, man, those guys are really, really good at what they do, and they'll dude, that's the cool thing. If I ever wanted to learn how to actually be a mechanic, all I have to do is walk over to the shop. And they'll happy to show you stuff if you're willing to learn.
Right.
So I would be able to do it mostly myself, but it's like, dude, Rust, I'm not messing with that. But anyway, like we were saying, the 2-stroke
It would be
is
good for a
superior, but those 2.5s, the only thing that could even get
Yeah,
close
talking
to
about
Is that a
Dodge
12
is
valve or
cool.
24 valve?
The only thing that could even get close to touching
Mine's
a Merc
24 valve.
2.5
Yeah.
was a.
That's what I was saying. I was like, this is bullshit. I'm like, this motor alone is worth $5,000.
That would be pretty
It's
cool.
only got 120,000 miles on it.
I've
It ain't
never-
broke in yet.
You see
I've
Brown-
never seen a 24 valve in a
Brown talking
Mustang.
about
Yeah,
building something
exactly.
Cool.
That's
Like,
what
I mean, that's
I'm
not a bad idea.
I just want, all I want to do is sell it for the transmission and the motor. Like, that's all anybody's going to want out of it is the motor and the trans to do a swap. Put it in another Dodge, put it in a Jeep, whatever. Put it in a Camaro. I don't care.
The only outboard that
Put it
could
in a
ever
Fiat.
touch shit. The only outboard that could ever touch those 2.5 Mercs or any of the Pro Maxes was the OMC 300.
Yamaha OX66.
Those were freaking badass too. Those were sick.
Oh, no.
That is considered the best outboard motor ever built.
What is
What's
it?
that big?
Yamaha OX66.
That's the one that you
X66.
have, right?
No.
What's yours? What model is yours?
I have
yours
the-
is an
I have the-
HPDI.
I have the carved. So the OX66 was the fuel injected before the HPDI.
Oh, I thought the OX66 was the carb model.
No.
Gotcha.
It's fuel injected.
Gotcha. Interesting.
You know, Bear?
Yeah, dude. So, like, a good friend of mine, the guy that actually bought my first boat from me, which was a fiberglass fast tracker, colossal piece of shit boat. But he's a
Was
big.
it like the TF1000 or whatever?
It was the 1800
Yeah.
FS. It had the cushion seats on it instead of like decking. It was
This
pretty
is
horrible.
efficient ski. Yeah.
Yeah, it was horrible. But the hull was a bass boat, but the cap was not. So it sucked. But it was, in terms of a first boat, it was great because I learned what not to do.
Right.
And you could only lose $3,000 on it if I literally would have destroyed the boat completely. So
That's my buddy's first boat the first boat like we ever fished out of because we fished together all the time.
was
one
it
of those.
fiberglass tracker?
The fiberglass tracker.
Dude, those things were.
1988
Mine was an
with a
89
150
Yup.
150 Johnson on it.
XP, or yours had a 150 GT.
150 GT.
Yep, mine had a 150 XP. That thing
Blew,
would run though.
blew
dude.
it up on Conowingo.
Did you? Oh my
Yeah.
god. Those boats would run. I mean, I could get 60 out of mine all day.
What if John's boat? John ran his boat in whatever that race was over the summer, right?
Yeah.
And it's
Smoked all those
now
people.
John's is a 21-foot bass cat.
Yeah.
21-foot bass cat with a
It'll
Showmax
just- it'll
250 on
21
it.
or 20.
He got first.
Do you know what model is it? Do you remember? I think he has I want to say he has a Puma.
I think it might be. It's not the
It's
original.
freaking badass.
Like
Rhea.
20 feet 8 inches.
They're quick.
It's the fastest bass boat I've been on. Personally.
Yeah, they're
it
quick.
flies.
I mean, that's
it doesn't even
it's a
feel
high
right.
70s boat.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, I've been in it at
With a
74.
torn load.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
it chime?
That's like
Oh yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
bass cats shine like a mofo.
Yeah.
I'm really.
But that's because you have like when you get them up, those high performance boats. When you get them on pad, you only have.
There's,
like,
I was
this
gonna
much
say
further
there's
to walk.
nothing touching the water.
I'm really
Yeah, they're
curious.
just-
It's like
to
the back
see-
6 inches of the boat is all you have touching the water,
He-
and that's it.
Yeah.
He drives it like that.
I'm
It's,
really-
it's scary to me, but that's how he runs it.
As long as you know how to correct the China walk, you're good.
He runs it.
So Grom asked, "What's?"
He's
I've never-
he's
I've never-
going the whole way down the lake like this too, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just jerking the shit out of it till it
No,
straightens
you don't
out.
jerk it. Smooth.
I've heard jerk it.
No.
I've
don't
never
jerk
been scared on
it. Don't
it.
jerk it.
But it's fast.
Smooth.
So Grom asked, "What's
It's like
our
a quarter turn.
Grom asked, "What's our top speed?" So mine was like I've hit 67 on mine going down the current at Conowingo. Now I just got a jack plate on mine, so I'm curious to see if I
You'll
pick
hit
up.
70.
I
You
hope
get
so.
70 in the right conditions, I bet.
I'm also going to have to learn how to drive it. A
I
little
doubt
bit
he'll
more.
get 70.
If he got 67 and put the jack plate on it, he can get another 2 or 3 out of it.
I wish John would chime in because
I don't know.
I don't know what the top speed of his is. I've seen 74 looking over
If he's
myself.
empty,
He emptied it when he did that race down on
he's high
whatever
70.
that run was, and he won that. He won that easily.
He's high 70s if not
That'd be
80.
my guess.
So
But he
you'll-
told me, he's like, I don't know how much speed I actually gained by emptying everything. He said, I'd like to try it with just leaving my stuff on there. I think he thinks the ride's better with a little more weight.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He talked about, I might not do that
Yeah.
next time. But
getting a little too much.
I feel like
power
taking
without
everything
weight.
out's the right way to go. But
Well, most of the time, so one thing I just recently learned, and I never really thought about it, but it makes sense, is those boats are designed to run with a certain amount of weight in the front and back. So, like, that's why a lot of people lose speed when they go to, like, lithiums. Because
Yeah.
the boat was designed to run with 280 pounds of batteries
Yeah.
in the back. So you drop that down to, like, 100 pounds, you lost 200 pounds in the back.
Yeah.
It's no wonder the boat doesn't run right because it wasn't designed to run that way.
Right.
So you got to move. You got to move stuff from the front.
I was
to
gonna
back.
say you could fix that though.
Yeah.
You could put two 25-pound plates in the back or something.
Well, most of
you could make some
just
kind
gotta-
of mount.
You take your gear, move your gear from the front and move it into the back compartments. So you do stuff like that, or remove gear from the front.
Right.
So you can make it even out, or
I'll
like you
find
said,
out. I'll ask John what he has actually seen top speed by himself
throw 100 pounds
on
in
the
back
Bass
all
Cat
day.
250 SHO.
Somebody in that thread said, "Take your." Hey, there's John right there.
What did they
There
say?
you
Take
go.
your what?
Hey, there he is. I tagged him.
So I know
I tagged
I've
him in
seen-
the thread to see if he would tune in.
So I know I've seen in his boat. I've seen 74. I bet you he'll tell you.
83. Yeah, I figured it was.
83 miles an
There you
hour.
go.
I figured
That's
you
pretty
could
quick.
get 80. John, which model Bass Cat do you have?
A nice one.
Right.
Faster weight up front.
They're all. You know what? While he's waiting on saying
Which
that,
Bass
you know
Cat
what?
do you have, John?
You know which Bass Cats were wicked fast? Were the Sabres or with the 175?
The
Eight little-
Iria.
18
The Ira.
foot.
Okay.
The Ira.
Yeah, it's 20 foot 4 inches if I remember correctly.
I almost bought one before I got the Ranger.
Definitely
it was
the
a
fastest
Bass
boat I've
Cat
been
Sabre, but it had a 175 on it. And when I was looking, and the price was right, I should have bought it. When I was looking into it, they said that those boats they were 18 foot even, but they would do like 70, and they were wicked.
Is
They'll run about
every
60.
Bass
Like, they
Cat
were
like a
wicked
custom order Bass Cat? Like, can you design like your deck layout kind of
No.
on Bass Cats when you purchase them?
You can't design your own deck layout.
So that's why they
Like-
have a lot of
So
different
the
models.
different
Yeah,
models
I thought
have
there
different
was-
deck layouts.
Okay.
We know, John. We know.
I've heard him talk about the deck layout before, so I thought that you could do that, but I'm sure he'll say.
Yeah, there's
whatever.
Right,
Right, right.
options.
Like,
'Cause
I'm
I've
interested
heard him
just because
say,
like
I had him make it that way, but
I know some
It could be an
brands
option.
offer different options.
right, it's probably an option.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the thing about Bass Cat, which is really cool, is the no two deck layouts are really similar on their boats.
Oh,
like
no, most of them are similar now.
really?
Yeah, most of them have that similar. It's that you got your 2 rod lockers, two middle lockers, and then your 1 day box in the front.
each
Really?
model has a different layout.
Yeah.
That's what John says. Okay, so that's pretty cool.
So, John,
Well,
are the hulls the same? Like, do they have the same hull and a different layout, or is
You
it,
have like
is every
you get
hull
different,
different?
I'm sure you probably have different beams and everything, kind of per
That's kinda
whatever
what- yeah.
boat that you pick. I would
The
imagine.
beams are, I think, if I remember right, Bass Cat's pretty equal.
Really?
For their beams, different lengths. So they go like they have the Ira, the Cougar, and the Puma are all 20-foot boats. But what's like 20 foot 4, 20 foot 6, and 20 foot 8, if I remember right. And they have different hulls.
Gotcha.
So like
the hulls are
the
different.
Puma has the new Puma has like the STS hull, which is their newest design. Yeah, the Ira is the fastest hull.
Isn't that what Iconelli runs?
The Ira, yeah.
He got that hull from some kind of deal with him and Ike. He got that hull from.
Oh wow.
He bought Ike's boat.
I don't think he bought his boat, but
Or did you get
maybe
through?
Ike had a hull that he was having built, and he went a different option. He went a different way or something, and I think John picked one up from him, and then had.
Well, Steve, you're in hot
Hey
water.
Steve, who banged John's prop up?
Oh, God.
That's pretty obvious.
Hold
now.
up, hold up. Steve didn't tell me this yet.
No, I think I told you about it.
No, I don't think
I
you
didn't
did.
hear
We
this
were down
story.
on the Potomac.
Oh, okay.
always-
This was in the past.
Yes.
I thought you were
Oh, no,
talking
no,
about
yeah.
at
No,
at
this
South Carolina the other
no,
week. It's okay, right on.
No,
Yeah,
this-
you told
this
me about
happened
that one before.
Maybe 2 years ago. But I always put the boat on the trailer. He backs
Yeah.
the trailer, and I put the boat on. We were on the Potomac at a ramp I'd never been to before.
What
He-
ramp was it? Just curious.
John, you remember what it was?
Marshall Hall.
It was far.
Oh, I know exactly. It was across. You had to go across the bridge.
Far. Definitely in Virginia.
In Virginia?
Yeah,
Okay,
way
then it
down.
was Belhaven.
Belhaven. Yeah.
Because there's a big rock pile at the back of it, and I know exactly what it had to be Belhaven.
So I was putting it on. I torqued it up to get it up to the front, and then didn't reach rim, and I didn't realize it.
Right.
When you give it some torque on a big 250,
It's gonna
the
dip.
trim comes down. I didn't put it back up, and it just barely did.
Oh, that
and
was
and he's
quiet.
like, "Did it hit?" I was like, yeah, I think I heard something. One of them was dinged.
So it was a quiet.
I felt like shit.
So
He
you
knows
were-
I did. That's why he brought it up.
So you were way in Virginia.
You know what?
Quiet.
Well, he said he was at a shitty ramp. I mean, he even admits it.
It's quiet.
Yeah.
we were way down there.
You guys are freaking me out, man, because my first tournament of the year is on the Potomac next week, and I historically do horrible on the Potomac. Now, the reason why I do horrible on the
Potomac's on fire
Potomac,
right now.
the reason why I suck on the Potomac is
can't
because I
wait to
don't go fishing. You know why? Because I hate to drive.
It's so
The drive
far
sucks.
away.
The drive sucks.
It's not that it's really not far. It's just it takes
When I go
long
with
to
John,
get back, dude.
we always spend the night there. So
It's
if
pretty
we're
far.
doing that drive,
It's 92
we go down there and
miles
spend the
per
night
mile.
Yeah,
and fish
make it
2
worth
days.
your
Fish
time.
2 days.
Yeah,
We'll probably do that soon.
Yeah, I need to,
we crush it there. Yeah.
I need
We
to,
definitely got on a real good deal there one time.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking. I'm thinking.
John,
about,
I know
John always does.
John's really good on it. I know
John
John's
always
really
does
on
good
it.
there. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking about
me and
spending.
him got on a real good deal 2 times that we've been there.
I'm thinking about spending a few days down there before the tournament because I historically do
Potomac is on
really
fire.
poor down there.
I'm glad he said we were at a shitty ramp though, because I still remember.
That's what I've heard.
I still lose sleep
It's-
over
it-
that day.
Yeah, I was not
That's
happy
what
about
Tyler.
I'm
also
sure
said.
John's not losing sleep
Yeah,
over the
I
prop.
heard the scale was off.
it. He doesn't care. But
I heard the
he
scale
brought it
was
up because he
off by
knew
like 2.5
he knows
hours.
I don't like that happen.
But still,
Big swim baits.
10th place was 19 pounds
Really.
on their scales. So
Dude, so like here's my thing, right?
17 something.
So I look at the Potomac differently because I really
Big
don't
swim
know
baits.
anything
Yeah,
about
sure.
it. I really don't know
Sure,
any
John's throwing big
spots.
swim baits down there.
So my thing with the Potomac is the reason why I don't like it is because everybody launches in Mattawoman, and if you have any sort of nasty wind down there, you're really not leaving Mattawoman. The amount of times I fished
Says who?
says me,
Right.
me, this guy right here.
Right.
So
I'll send that little champion all the way to Aquia in 25-mile-an-hour winds.
yeah, not me.
Let's do it.
It's just not worth it. For me, I just look, it's not worth it. But that's what kind of kills me. Now, the first time I ever fished Potomac, I caught a limit in the first half hour of the tournament. I was like, this is the best place ever. I'm gonna fish here all the time. And then the next tournament I fished there, I caught one fish and I
It was
blanked
like,
the third time. I was like, God, this place kills me.
Sucks.
He said the prop story made for good
I just-
radio. Yeah.
I just
It's
need
good
to
stuff.
put
It's
the
good
time
talk.
in
That is
down
pretty
there.
funny.
I need to put the time in on the Potomac because I know it's a good
That's-
fishery, but I just don't. It's so hard to drive there when the flats is 30 minutes away. Joppatown's 15 minutes
I'm
away.
the same way. I have the same issue.
Like,
And I fish. For me, I fish so many more tournaments on the Upper Bay than I do on the Potomac that I would rather spend my time fishing up here.
oh, absolutely.
And then I generally
It
if
gets
I'm
warmer.
fishing the ABAs.
The
you know,
water gets
that-
warmer there faster than it does here, though, right?
I
It's
fish
usually
it-
a couple weeks
I
ahead of
fish it-
us.
So I fish the Potomac a lot in the wintertime. I fish the
Wow.
Potomac more in the wintertime.
I know
than
it's
anywhere
usually
else.
like a few weeks ahead of us. So you go down there when
Yeah,
things
it's a
things are
couple
kicking
degrees
off,
warmer.
and then you still can do that a couple weeks later up here.
Dude, I'm
Yeah,
so
we've had to reschedule a bunch of SKUTs down there. Because of
dude,
the
I'm so bad on the Potomac. I pretty much consider any time in my fishing schedule there's a Potomac tournament, I pretty much consider it a drop because that's usually what happens. I've never in a fishing season, whether it's with Team Outcast or any other series, have I had any
I like
points that I
fishing
made from the Potomac count towards my end of year total. So that's how bad I do there.
I was one at ABA
Surprising.
down there.
Like
Couple
I,
years ago.
I,
Yeah.
Because I know you know how to fish.
I'm horrible on the Potomac. I'm
Yeah.
like dude,
I
I'm
like
lost,
it down there.
Totally lost. I have no idea what to do. Where to
I have no experience on.
like,
No, I know.
Yeah.
But you've never really had a boat to take.
So
down
I
there.
do-
Now
yeah.
you do. So
I am this time of year down there. I struggle. Once the grass really comes up good, I'm usually a lot better. A little closer to the spawn. I usually get a little bit better.
Yeah.
I haven't unlocked the pre-spawn thing down there.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay.
I would rather, if you told me I had to fish either the Potomac on April 8th or the Chop Tank, I'd go to the Chop Tank. That's how anti-Potomac I am.
You're like off the screen.
That's why I need to put the time in, and I'm willing to put the time in because
I'm in on that one.
it's just it's a tidal fishery at the end of the day. I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I just need to spend time on the water on the Potomac
Yeah.
to
It's
learn the
all about
Potomac.
spending time.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
I just hate it.
I mean, I've never done. I mean, I've done pretty well down there, but I don't spend nearly enough.
See, I had the luxury of going with somebody who already knew he already knew all that stuff. So I've gone down there and we've killed it.
So-
But it wasn't because
so
So we're going down there next
It
year.
wasn't because I
We're
knew what
gonna
I was
kill
doing.
it.
It
Now
was
see,
'cause-
John, I would rather fish the Chop Tank than the Potomac.
Okay, I'm there. So John, if you had to pick one Eastern Shore river, what if you had your favorite? What is it and why? Including the Sassafras, because that's on my bucket list. So any help?
The
appreciate it.
sassafras usually is
Just
like
kidding.
really good right now, or even like a couple weeks ago.
You know what I would really
I'm probably
enjoy?
going there
Not
Sunday.
quite yet.
You know what I would really enjoy, Scuba, while we wait for John to
I know that
tune in if
me
he's
and
still
John
watching?
fished a tournament at the end of March before, and the 3 people ahead of us all went to the sassafras. We didn't.
The Sass.
They're still in
Yeah.
That guy Mike Santor or whatever. That,
upper
Mike
base.
Santori.
he wins every tournament I've ever been a part of up there.
He only caught 2 fish a couple weeks ago.
So you know who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I know. Mike's a good friend of mine.
He comes back with a bag from Sassafras, and that guy Dave, red face guy.
So the
Still
Who's that?
Pond.
Big Dave.
Big Dave.
Oh, Big Dave.
That guy
So
comes
the-
back with a bag too.
I
The
love
upper bay,
Big Dave.
the upper
Big
bay
Dave's
right now.
hilarious.
That guy
they're still
geeks
kinda-
me out every time
He's
I
a
see him
hammer.
out
He
there on
catches
the
fish.
Conowingo.
Like I said, on Conowingo too, we've been near him and had a good day. And he had a
Bay-
good
He does
day,
not
too.
come down to the flats.
He does.
Well, he does, but
Not often.
not as much.
he lives on the Northeast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to run that like there was a shop.
He
over there.
fishes. He fishes.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Precision Tackle. Mr. Herb used to.
I don't know if
run
he ran it, but he was. I remember he was part.
So
of it.
the reason
He
why
fishes. He fishes the upper bay a lot in the wintertime.
yeah.
He does fish a lot in the wintertime.
So
But he doesn't fish a lot of
Yeah,
tournaments.
John, he was
Big
a hammer.
Big Dave is one of the most honest and best guys you'll ever meet. But
Tomato Head is a hammer.
The real-
John
I
knows.
wasn't gonna say.
the reason why
I'll say it.
we may have called him that a few times. But I wasn't gonna say.
How about remember when we fished that tournament on Conowingo last year and we
Yeah.
both were in the Chicken Palooza
Yeah,
shirts
dude.
and Big
You know,
Dave was like, "What the hell's wrong with you guys? Would
We
you
both-
guys?"
we pulled up the. I
Oh,
think Big
man.
Dave pulled up on us actually to see what we were up to, and we were sitting
Yeah,
there because
yeah,
he's like, "What are you wearing?" And we were like, "We're wearing Rofo chicken jerseys."
remember when you guys had
and he
those.
was like, "What are you guys thinking wearing Rural Farms chicken jerseys as team jerseys?" And we were like, "It's unique, isn't it?"
Oh, dude. Dave's funny as hell, man. I'll go fish a Conowingo tournament just to bullshit with Big Dave before
Yeah.
the tournament launches because he's so freaking funny.
He is funny.
Like-
I like Dave.
Yeah, he
The
geeks
best
me
part
out on the
about him
water.
is if you ever fish near him, and because like up there, that's really why I love Conowingo is because the guys that know it, they also know who else puts the time in, and if you're one of the guys that puts the time in, they will allow you to fish closer to them. It's not like a good old boys club because that sounds bad, but it's like. You know, if I go up there on a Saturday in the Sunday tournament and I'm fishing a spot and me and Big Dave talk and, you know, we both end up there on Sunday in the tournament, it's fine. You know, there's a general understanding. We both kind of figured this out. And
I don't have that general understanding with anyone. Get the fuck off.
up there, it's a little bit different. You know, there's more respect. And that being said, it's like a lot of times, like, community holes are fewer and further between up there. So, like, if I'm in a very smaller spot, guys will not just pull up on it, which is great. But
Right.
anyway, like the best part is if you ever fished closer to Big Dave, like how he talks to Scotty on the back of the boat is funny as all hell. It is so freaking
Thanks,
funny,
John.
man. Like
Thanks, John. We appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
thanks
thank
for tuning in and giving us some
Good to hear.
comments and some content, brother.
I already told him the story
I'll-
about Santee Cooper.
I
and
will-
that fish.
All I have to say is, if you want to
If you were
wanna
on
fish
here
close
earlier.
to me,
Yeah.
I blew apart a $50 rattle trap on the back of somebody's cowling for fishing too close to me.
I remember hearing that story's funny. You might have to tell that one.
Yeah. That's a good one.
John's
It's
got
definitely a good one.
got some good stories like that too.
That's what I was going to say is I think a great episode, if he would agree to it, is to get me and you and John on for one episode.
Now that I've seen
That
him
would be
chiming in on here,
fantastic.
I guarantee he'd come on. And he's got some good stories about guys coming too
Good
close to
times.
him,
Oh, yeah.
casting across the deck, and
The best one
My
ever.
favorite story is
What's up, Jason?
for the Toyota Series on the Potomac last year.
Got people want to hear the rattle trap story.
I'll tell the rattle trap story. Hold on. So last year for the Toyota Series,
He's in.
Frank and his travel partner
There you go.
are down there. His travel partner's name is Cliff, and there's this guy. Like there'd be like 2 or 3 boats practicing on the grass patch, and there's this one guy that's just going from like group to group and just like going into the middle of them and like fishing where each group is fishing. So he like gets over to like Frank and Cliff, and he pulls in close to him, and Cliff just casts his Senko onto his deck, like just lays his Senko onto his deck, and the guy looks over and goes, "What was that for?" He's like, "That means you're too fucking close."
Oh my god, it's awesome.
So the rattle
I
trap
just
story.
pitched a Senko onto your deck. He's like, you're too close if I can pitch a Senko onto
Dude,
your
how
deck.
about that day in Furnace where we could literally pitch to that guy's
Yeah.
boat? Yeah, that was a little
So-
Well, see, you were a lot more calm in that situation than I was.
because I'm used to it. I fished the flats.
I
enough
get, dude.
to
I was,
just-
and it
just
wasn't. Dude,
happens.
we were literally pre-fishing for Tony's Saturday tournament, and this guy must have had to been 10, 15 feet away from us, and it was just like
Oh, you could easily.
I
pitch
was
this
ready
from
to
there.
just be like, "Can I fucking help you, bro?"
Right.
Yeah,
Like-
he doesn't know any better. He's a terribly nice guy too. And
That's kind of why I didn't
That's
say
okay.
anything because it was an older guy. It's like, okay, you know what?
So
Like, whatever.
So the rattle trap story. So we're fishing SQT. So we're fishing SQT on the Potomac, and I'm in a grass bed, and I'm fishing next to Jim Goins, and we're about 3/4 of a cast apart, like a short cast. We're talking distance. We're both power pulled down. Jim's casting over to my boat. That's where he was fishing. My co-angler's casting out on this side. I'm casting out in front. We're having a good old time. We're just talking. Our co-anglers are ripping them. I mean, tearing us up. Me and Jim can't catch a fish. You know, but our co-anglers both have like 10 pounds for 3.
Jesus
and-
Christ, I've been there.
You know, and then this guy like comes around behind us. And then he turns and he starts like, so we're sitting here, he like starts like coming up in the middle of us and kind of casting there. And like, remember, Jim's casting like to my boat. And he gets up a little closer. So I had a 3/4 ounce Excalibur XRK 75 laying on the front deck.
Good stuff.
So I picked it up. I mean, that's in Rayburn Red too. It's a
Yep, the best.
It's a $50 rattle trap.
You say 50 or $15? $50?
Now they're
50.
50. You can't get
Jesus
them.
Christ.
So if you wanted to
So-
get one now, they're $50.
so I started-
That's a lot of money.
John's probably got 20 of them.
I just start casting. You know, like out in front. Like, dude, what are you doing? This is where we're fishing. So he pulls up a little farther. He's like just in front of us, and I'm literally casting like right in front of his trolling motor. Like every one of my casts, I'm like, yeah, this is getting snagged in his trolling motor. And he just doesn't he zoned out. Like he's focused right ahead, not making eye contact with either one of them. Me and Jim are talking about him as he's in between us. Like, what the hell is this guy doing?
Oh my god, it's awesome.
And meanwhile, I'm still casting, like, because, like, I got, like, one fish in the boat, and we got, like, an hour and a half left, and I'm just letting my co-angler catch it because he's got a chance to win. So, I'm still casting. And he pulls up a little farther. And I'm like, I looked over at Jim, and I went, F this guy. And I pulled back, and I fired this rattle trap so hard into the back of his cowling that it
Line drive.
exploded. And he never looked at me. He just pulled up his trolling motor, sat down in the seats, fired it up, and left.
Well, at least he understood.
Why did it come down to that?
Yeah.
Because people
Is
are
the
assholes.
issue. Like,
That's how it is. That's why I fish above the dam. Because I hate that shit.
oh my God, you'll still get some bullshit
You
like
still get
that
it
at the
above the
dam.
Yeah.
It happens
No.
above the dam. It happens.
What
below
on
the dam.
earth is the scissor story?
I've never had that happen above the dam.
Same
I
kind
have had it
of,
happen
same kind of
multiple
deal. We were fishing
Really?
in this area between, what's it,
If
Route
you
40,
start- if-
Route 40 bridge and the train bridge on the end of the Susquehanna where it opens up. And there's like a yellow perch hole there in the wintertime. We go there. Everybody's there. Boats are real close. But there was like a Coast Guard had a pier, and there's people fishing off the pier.
Yep.
And they didn't like how close we were in the boat, but that's where the fish were. He's using his graphs. We're like, the fish are there. There's brush piles down there. We're just vertically jigging big yellow perch. This guy like cast his line. First he threw one like real close to us. We heard it hit the water, and so that John already got his attention. Then he throws one all the way across the boat, line across the boat, and John grabs the line. He's like, "What is?" He's like, "Did they guy just do that?" He grabs the line, and just cuts it, just cuts it, throws it in. And the guy's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Dude, you threw the big weight in there." He's like, "You threw it all the way across the boat." He's like, "You did it on purpose." He's like, I'm not playing that shit. He just cut the line and let it go.
You know what?
The guy just
That
reeled
is
up. He just reeled up
hilarious,
his
dude.
slack like I can't believe this guy did that.
You know what used to
Sounds like
irritate
I'm not playing
me?
that
Just
shit.
cut his freaking lure off.
Yep.
That
Dude,
is
you know
definitely
what?
some shit that I would do.
You know
That
what?
is
You know
awesome.
what irritates
It
me?
was awesome. It was
That
great.
is awesome. Yeah, straight up.
What irritates me to absolutely no end at all is when you come in for a Thursday nighter and there's about 75 people throwing catfish rigs across the freaking canal.
Oh, we're going-
on
Are we
Mariner,
Talking about Jackie Chan.
right next to the sign
you
that
about to
says
go into
want to
freaking
go
no
Jackie
fishing
Chan?
from the pier. And and here's the worst part. It's
know
the
what?
same people every Thursday, and they all get pissed every
It's
Thursday.
like,
Oh,
you
what
guys
are you
know
doing?
we're-
I can guarantee you that Jet Li will be at the boat ramp this year.
Hey, you better be careful, all right? That
I
dude's
don't
not
care.
Tony's like,
Ban me.
I was ready to watch that guy beat.
I was so ready.
Dude,
I
it was like,
oh my
bro,
God.
I did nothing wrong. I
No.
came in. Okay, here's the story for
You played
John.
It, you played it fine.
Here's a story for John if you're
was
still
fun.
listening, bro. So we came in from the Thursday nighter at Mariner Point, and we come in from obviously bass fishing, right? We're gonna pull out. We have this.
There's probably
this
20 boats
nothing
in
to
that,
do.
right?
Nothing to do with this is racist. I'm just gonna state what I have to state.
That was a tournament that I won, by the
He
way,
was
which
a
makes
he
it
was
even
a
better.
and he was a Japanese and Asian gentleman, was sitting on the pier, and he was fishing with 3 or 4 different rods, casted 50 to 60 feet out from in front of the freaking pier.
You know,
Yeah.
Right where it says no
Okay.
fishing from pier. by the way.
literally
Where it
next to
says
the sign.
no fishing from pier, Asian dude. I come in, it's getting dark at this point because it's time for weigh-in, and I run over every single one of this guy's fishing lines.
Dude, I ran over a bunch of them from different people. I was like, yo, I have to pull my prop after every Thursday.
Dude,
because
It
you
cut
freaking-
all 3 or 4.
God,
I
so
cut
annoying.
I
Chad-
cut all
Chad
3
just
or
like,
4.
Yep, screw this dude.
I cut all 3 or 4 of this guy's fishing lines, and this guy's up on the. He's like, oh, what the fuck?
I'm fishing.
He's like,
I'm fishing
he's like,
here.
I fish in here. I fish in here. And I look at him and I'm like, we're coming. I'm like, do you not see all the boats coming back to the boat ramp? Did you not think it was a good idea to pull in your line? And he's like, what? You know? He's like, you fish here, but I know fish here.
Yes.
I know a lot to fish here, but you fish here.
Yes.
And I
Look
was
at
just
the
like,
sign. Like,
The sign says.
I'm literally
don't
just like,
fish
I'm literally just like, no, I'm not saying you're allowed to. I'm not saying you're not allowed to fish here. What I'm trying to say is get your shit out of the way when you have 30 boats trying to
Wait,
come back into the
hold
boat
on.
ramp for weigh-in.
then
And not only that, not
he
only
felt
does it say no
threatened
fishing
after
there,
that.
but every other sign
Yeah.
in the park says, pull your lines out of the water when boats are coming by.
It's-
Like there are big signs
Yeah.
at the bottom of the
Yes.
park that say that.
multiple.
At some point, he felt threatened because he asked Chad if he
I'm
was,
telling you,
if he was
yo,
going to kill him.
Phil's like, what did he say? I'm telling you right. He's like, you know, I know allowed to fish here, but you allowed to fish here. I know allowed to fish here, but
This
you
is-
can come in here and
Oh,
you fish.
all
we are
factual.
getting canceled.
And I looked right at him and I was like, I don't care where you fish. I was like, you see all these boats coming in, pull your lines out of the water. And
want to kill me
he
now?
said something to me, and I was like, he said something to me, and I was literally could not understand what the dude was saying. So I was like, wait until I get up to shore.
Ah, yes, that's when he felt
I was
threatened.
like, wait to get up to shore so I can talk to you. And this dude was like, you want to kill me now? He's like, you want to fight me? He's like, you want to fight me? You want to kill me now?
This is all true. I watched
like-
this whole
it
thing.
went just
Now.
like that.
It was just like that. And I'm like, I'm literally
No,
on the
I'm
boat
good.
that I threw my hands. I'm like, no, bro. I'm like, I don't want to freaking fight you, dude. I'm like, I want to hug you. It's okay.
And that was the
And
funniest
then
part.
all the boats, everybody laughed.
Everyone's
Like,
dying.
Everybody in the boat ramp. There must have been 20 boats trying to pull out. Everybody was geeking out.
Man,
I'm
Except
like,
for that guy.
I wish I
He
wish
wasn't-
I'd been there. That
yeah.
Oh my god, dude! I
Dude,
was
he's-
It was hilarious.
I was
got
no
the boat
good.
out, got it up
I was
onto
no
the,
good.
into the
I
park.
felt bad, dude. I cut every
the
single
guys'
one of this
lines were
dude's
in your
line.
prop.
I came in, like, made fun of him for being Chinese, and then and then pulled my boat out and was like, like I don't even know what to do.
You
You,
had
know what I'm
4
saying?
lines
Like,
hanging out of your prop.
yeah,
Red-
I did.
red-
I
red
had
braid.
I had a lot of braid hanging out of my prop that I had to clean up, and then.
Dude, Buddy was about to show you the way of the dragon.
Yes, he
Like,
was.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, there was a couple people, like Tony and Steve, were like, "Dude, that guy might go Mr. Miyagi." Like, when you like, you guys, like wax on, wax off.
was
Because
the
you
only
don't
thing-
even want that
he was-
wax
he
off.
was
like-
The only
too
thing
calm.
that I can
Yes.
see.
He was,
Yes.
he was too
Yeah.
calm for
the way
situation.
the way he said, "You want to kill me," I was like,
Yep.
"Yeah, he knows some shit."
I did too.
It's like,
So
Like,
the
yeah,
only
I
thing-
don't know about this.
The only thing that I can see right now is that community standards link right at the bottom of the chat.
In all honesty, though, like,
I didn't do nothing wrong,
no,
bro.
you didn't. And the guy should have read the sign that says, "Hey, you can't fish here off the dock." Like,
Same thing happens in Potomac.
You want to kill me now? Like, I swear, it's one of my favorite things to say when I'm on the boat. I'll look at Steve just randomly fishing, like, you want to kill me?
remember that one time when we were fishing in your John boat out by the dock and the gunpowder out past the bridge, and that dude was sitting on the bank and got mad that we were like 100 yards off the
He
shore.
pulled the guy's rod right off the bank. It flipped his rod off the bank. Right
I
off
had
the
a catfisherman line wind up in my prop and pulled the rod in Northeast Creek.
It's amazing.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
I almost did that in the Tidings is really bad, where the free fishing area is.
And they get pissed at you for
Because
getting
they'll
on
cast.
plane right where the cones start, which
Well,
they're
the-
changing it now, by the way.
It's already changed. The buoys are out.
Yeah, it sucks.
So but it's only it's Saturday. It's like the gunpowder. It's Saturdays, Sunday, holidays.
Okay.
So, yeah, but they'll cast like all the way across from from there over to like that wall, and they'll it's only 4 feet deep there.
Right, you're gonna hit it.
Like you're gonna hit their line. Like you gotta reel up. I
Yeah.
almost pulled a dude's carper again, and like he was like one of those serious carp fishermen that have like the high end gear. Mm-hmm. Like
Which is still only
yeah.
$10.
like
but still.
no like no he was definitely rocking like $500 rods.
Jeez.
Like that's what he did
To
He
catch
enjoyed
shoot,
trash.
To catch the freaking most
Dude,
garbage
that's like
fish
buying
in
a
the freaking
$2,000
bag.
shotgun to go shoot seagulls with.
We think they're trash fish. In England, they're sought after game fish.
Nah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they are.
100%.
Doesn't make sense either, but they also
Yeah.
drink tea instead
Have
of
you ever?
coffee.
I mean,
like mirror.
the other
carp and
thing
stuff
too
like
is
that.
like I've done a lot of fly fishing for carp. They are one of the hardest fighting fish that you will catch
Yeah.
in the United States.
Oh yeah, carp on the fly
They
is a
are-
whole nother thing.
They
But
are sick.
they make a sick run when you hook them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so powerful, so
Yep.
fast.
Phil says, where
They'll
can you
take you-
shoot
they'll take you
seagulls?
on.
Right at the edge of the landfill property.
Just get a silencer.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm from Dundalk. I didn't know any better.
Another beer in the fridge.
So John said he had the same thing on the St. Lawrence
Did they
River.
really? Did they really? They hold,
Largest carp tournament. That's pretty funny.
they hold carp tournaments up there.
Is that hook and line or is that bow fishing? Because
Hook
I
and
think they
line.
have.
I think it's hook and line.
It's hook
Okay.
and line. Yeah, for sure.
Has anyone caught any snakeheads yet this year?
I caught
No.
one the other day.
How big was it?
4 or 5 pounds.
In the gunpowder, I'm
Foster
assuming.
branch. Yeah,
Okay, very cool.
I haven't seen any yet.
Did you catch any bass back there?
maybe.
Okay, maybe. It means maybe. I can't say yes or no. Dude, I actually, I love fishing Foster Branch. The reason why I don't like fishing it though is because
It gets
everyone
muddy.
and their mother fishes it,
Yeah.
and it gets muddy.
If anything's muddy, it's usually it.
It was muddy,
And
and there
right.
were fish in there.
That's why that's what was working because
Lloyd caught a
that works
big
well.
one in there Tuesday.
What's that?
Lloyd caught a big one in there Tuesday.
In Foster.
Yeah.
Tuesday? What the hell was he doing in there
Was
on
it
a Tuesday?
He was he had just got his boat back from Premier, so
My
his
Lloyd
boat,
from.
yeah.
he said
Okay,
it
so
cool.
his boat broke
He said
down in
hook
our
and
tournament.
line.
Oh, okay, very cool.
His boat broke down in our tournament, and he had to get it fixed, and he was going to Lake Anna with
Right.
with him. So
I guess
he
it was
was
something
Tuesday,
minor
just making
then.
sure that it, yeah.
Good for him.
He ran it out of oil in our tournament. So I don't know if they watch, but actually big shout out to Victor and Troy. Lloyd called me, said, hey, my boat's broke down. Do you know if anybody that can help? I called Victor and it's like, hey man, like you don't have to say yes, but we got a boat broke down there. One of the boats in our tournaments broke down. Is
Was
there
he
any way
in
you
the
guys can
tournament
help
as
them?
well?
Yeah. Victor and Troy were fishing in the tournament.
Victor.
Ariema.
Okay. I didn't want to butcher his last name.
Okay. So Victor Ariema and Troy Bowlings. I called them up and they were fishing on Troy's boat. Troy said I'd be happy to go help him out. Come to find out that he ran out of oil. Troy ran over to Tidings. I had a gallon of oil in my truck. Picked up a gallon of oil, took it over to Lloyd, and Lloyd was able to get back in. So, I mean, they didn't have to do that.
No, good on them.
Yeah.
That
For
was
real.
It was really cool.
Very
that they
cool.
did
Good
that.
on you
So,
guys. Can
I just want to give them a shout out.
Should we tag them? I mean, we
Who's
don't have
that?
to. Vic
Victor
and Troy.
Ariema.
Because that's pretty cool, man. Like, that goes a long way. I commend anybody that does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Here's the thing. you fish enough, you're going to be on the giving end and the receiving end of it. I mean, I don't think I've ever told this story before. I actually saved a guy's life at Kentucky Lake. My junior year of college, we were fishing a tournament out there. And I have gone to Kentucky Lake the year previous, and we didn't do well at either tournament. So 2-day tournament, first day, we sucked. Me and my partner, we caught him on a jig day one. We didn't really catch him. We caught like 3 fish for like 6 pounds. We thought we were on to something because we didn't know what the hell we were doing. So day 2 comes, we have 2 jig rods on deck each, half of us. So we're just throwing jigs, didn't catch shit. Day 2 comes around, I'm like, I'm going to run until I burn a quarter tank and throw rattle traps. And I had fish. Not enough to qualify at all, but enough to weigh in. On the way back, it started getting nasty. Like, the wind forecast was really, really bad. So they actually had, before we launched, they had called the tournament at noon. They said, check-ins at noon instead of 3 o'clock. This is when we're going to weigh in. And as we were launching, there was this dude, this younger black guy, had an old Ranger. It actually looked really good. And he had a little Rottweiler puppy with him. And I just remember seeing him at the ramp, like, oh, that's cool. This dude's taking his puppy out. This is awesome. So we're coming back from Blood River, and it's gotten pretty gnarly out there. And I see this boat out in the middle. And I see, like, the waves are so, like, turbulent that you could see the boat, and then you couldn't see the boat, and then you could see the boat, and then you couldn't see the boat. So something told me to just go out and check on this dude, because why would he be sitting in the middle of Kentucky Lake? It's muddy. He's not ledge fishing. So I go out there, and it's that guy. And, like, dude, this guy's transom is, like, almost under because the waves crashing over the boat, and his bilge was no good. Like, his bilge...
It wasn't bilging.
He had 2... well, no, he had 2 bilge pumps. So most Rangers have 2. They have there's an automatic and there's a manual. His automatic wasn't working, and his manual couldn't keep up. So I get over there, and this guy's like, dude, I need a tow, like, right now. So me and my buddy Wyatt, he was with me, we hook him up, and we tow him into... It was called Ken Lake Marina, where it was calm enough for him to pull his boat out, dude. I'll never forget that as long as I live. This guy's holding his Rottweiler puppy, and this dog is, like, crying because, like, there's danger is happening. Yeah. Like, this dude's got, like, 6 inches of water, like, on his ankles. Like, it was bad. So
yeah,
I ended up telling him. So the reason why I say I probably saved his life was because if
nobody had stopped.
If nobody had stopped, now the boat may not have sank. It may or may not. I don't, whatever. But it was going to swamp, and the water temp was in the 40s. So he would have been in bad shape.
He would have been in hypothermic.
He would have been in bad shape.
The dog would have died.
I have a similar story.
So I told him, and I'm like, I could either drop you off here and you get an Uber. And he's like, dude, my phone got wet. I'm like, I'll just tow you back. So I towed the guy like 15 miles. It took me like 3 hours. So I called the tournament director. I'm like, look, here's the situation. I got fish to weigh in, nothing to compete, but to get on the board. And he's like, I can't let you weigh in, but, like, I'll make sure. So they actually sent another boat out to check on us, which was really cool. So that's my story for that. But that guy tried to give me money and all kinds of shit. I'm like, look, man, just it is what it is. Bro.
I had that guy. I don't know if I've told the story on the show before, but last year or the year before in March, it was early March, one of those freak 75-degree days.
Right. Water's still cold though.
Water's 41 degrees. I'm in the back of Mansion Cove, and there's a guy in a canoe, and he's got his 2 daughters. They're in kayaks, and I'm fishing, and I hear him talking and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden I hear these girls screaming, and the dude flipped his canoe, and as soon as he hit that cold water,
you go into shock.
He was 20 feet from the bank.
Couldn't make it.
As soon as he hit the water, he panicked, saw houses, and started swimming for the houses. And high tide, there wasn't enough water, in the middle. There was 6 foot of water in the middle. Like he couldn't get to the bottom to stand up. And he just locked up. I actually put my boat on plane in Mansion Cove. Yeah, so
gotta do what you gotta do.
And got down there. And got him up on my boat. And he was gonna drown.
100%. Like his legs were locked up. Like he was like I couldn't move. It was all I could do to stay afloat.
I've seen it too.
And he was in the dead middle, like right at the mouth, where's the water.
Oh
is.
yeah.
Right in that deeper water, right at the mouth, and like he would have drowned, like in front of his kids. And I got him up on my boat, and same thing with Tony. Like he tried to offer me money, and I'm like, dude, I don't need money. All I need you to do is put your life vest on. He didn't have a life vest on. That was the kicker.
Yeah.
And we got his canoe turned back over. Jeff, what's up, buddy?
Jeff.
So we got his canoe flipped back over, got the water out of it, got his life vest, which was he had a life vest in the canoe. Got his stuff put back in there, and I turned around and went back up Mansion Cove, and I looked back, and he's paddling away with no life vest on. Like, dude almost died.
Yep, didn't learn anything.
Didn't learn a single thing. Why do you have dressing?
Just ride a beer. So this is all I have. It's Thousand Island dressing.
Grab a Corona.
I'll take one of those.
Here you go.
So me and John were on the Potomac one time. Same deal. Early March.
I even have lime.
It was warm that day, but the water was still like
Yeah.
the water was still low 40s.
Swiss sauce. Do you want one?
Yeah.
So
We're
we
listening.
saw a guy waving to us it was at Blue Plains, if you know where that is.
Yeah.
We saw a guy waving us over. We go over. His co-angler had fallen out of the boat. Hypothermic. Couldn't. He was locked up. He couldn't get out of the water.
Oh yeah. Is this the one where you use the motor to?
No, that was with. I could tell that story too. That one wasn't very dangerous.
You got it.
This guy was in trouble.
Thank you, sir.
His muscles were all locked up.
He was contracted.
He couldn't get out of the
Yeah.
water. So he.
Oh, was it? You said it was cold when this was.
It was
going
cold.
on?
Yeah, the water was still low 40s, but it was like
Wow.
it was nice out that day, but the water was super cold.
And that's what
Yeah.
what a lot of people don't like.
So I jumped on his boat, pulled the guy.
So-
in.
This shit's scary. I had to pull Chris Adamo. Well, I shouldn't have said his name, but I had to pull a gentleman in Team Outcast in last year on the Potomac, and it was crazy.
It was sketchy.
So
Yeah.
this time
Oh,
of year, this time of year, this is a good conversation to have because this time of year we're getting those warmer days, but the
Yeah.
water's still like on
Even-
49 to 52.
The 50s will still grab
cold.
you, man. They will still
cold.
put you into that shock.
Yeah.
So-
It'll do it.
I fish by myself a lot. My life vest never comes off.
Yeah.
I wear an inflatable life vest. It stays on 100% of the time while I'm fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I have somebody else in my boat.
Ooh.
Because you don't realize how hard it is to get
It's pretty good.
With the lime.
a 200,
Never had
close
that?
to 200 pound
It's
person
hard.
back into a boat.
Yeah.
If they're got knocked unconscious or something like
You're
that.
in trouble then, because
I've
it's
had-
very hard to get them back in, especially if they're wearing. This guy had bibs on. Everything was soaked.
Yeah.
He couldn't help.
Exactly.
He couldn't help himself at all.
Well,
so
from-
we were pulling dead weight into the boat basically.
From
he was
trout-
hypothermic.
From trout fishing, you should know this too, though. Like, even when you're trout fishing, if you're in current and you go under the current in waders and your waders fill up, it can drag you
If
down
you
the
don't wear
river.
like neoprene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't
Yeah.
get back up.
Yes.
Well, exactly. But
Yes
it's the
and
same
no.
thing where if you fall off the boat and your stuff fills up and you're trying to pull yourself back onto the
Panic.
boat, you can't.
Panic is what happens.
It is-
Exactly.
So
You know,
that's
I tell
the biggest
this, I
thing
say this
is
to
panic.
everyone.
If you don't panic,
It is super important to wear your life vest.
Super
I wear my
important.
life vest year round when I'm.
I think if I was fishing by myself, all the time,
90% 90% of the
I would
time when I'm fishing, if I'm on the gunpowder, I usually don't. Because I'm fishing in 3
few
feet of
feet.
water
I
anyway.
was gonna say the John boat. We have them on the John boat. We normally don't because the John boat is like maxing out at like 25 miles an hour. It just doesn't go fast enough to really
If you hit something, solid at 25 miles an hour, though, you're still
solid.
going
It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt.
if you go in and you hit the water at 25 miles an hour, then
to the left, Steve.
to the left, to the left.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, my point there is just wear your life vest. It's not worth it. If you get a good inflatable life vest, it's comfortable. We barely even know it's there, and if something does happen, it might be the difference between you making it out and not.
Yeah. No, for real.
So I don't I fully agree, and that's something that's very serious to take importantly. I don't know if Scuba Steve is about to get out of here or not, but one thing I did want to cover in tonight's discussion, maybe we should take this to a different episode, but we did want to talk about upping the quality of our fish during the pre-spawn.
Oh, I forgot about that.
We wanted to talk about upping the quality of the fish during our pre-spawn because this is such a good time to really get your personal best and put your personal best in the boat. And there's different skills and there's different strategies that you can use to try to eliminate those 1s and those 2-pounders and really just focus on those 3+ and trying to get those bigger fish in the boat. I would love to have Scuba Steve for part of this talk because he's got such a good brain for this, just like you do and Tony does. Not sure if he's getting ready to get out of here, though. I know he said he wasn't going to be able to stay for the whole thing. And we're getting late into the episode.
We are.
And that is kind of like
Maybe it could be a
huge
prequel
topic
to next week's show.
Yeah, I definitely think that we could do something. I mean, actually, Tackle Tuesday this week will be.
No, we're starting in April. Remember?
It won't
Oh,
be
it is
April.
It will
It
be
is
today.
April, isn't it?
Tomorrow's
It
April
will be
1st.
April.
Oh,
So-
Tackle Tuesday.
All
Perfect.
right, so Tackle Talk Tuesdays. I guess what we're going to be talking about is
That's a good
Baits
topic.
for bigger bites.
baits for bigger bites. Makes a lot. We're not going to focus on anything specific. We're going to talk about how to produce that larger fish, the better quality fish, the higher weight. The higher weight doesn't always come with higher numbers. Higher weight sometimes takes a little bit longer to produce. But we're going to talk about how to put those fish in your boat instead of the dinks. And
What's
I
up?
think that's a huge...
What water temperature do you start throwing top water?
60, 65.
Some of the biggest bass I've ever caught on top water, 55 degrees.
Yeah. I know it for sure. I know that you can.
You might go at that point, and I'm buzzbait fishing when I'm doing this, but at that point, it almost becomes like you throwing a glide bait, where you're gonna throw it all day and you might get 2 or 3 bites.
Yeah.
But the 2 or 3 bites that you're gonna get
Are the bites
gonna
that
be
you
fives.
want. You've been looking for
you know,
them.
you're
Yeah.
getting a 5. Yeah, if you can get something to hit top water in that 55-degree water, especially around here, it's usually big.
Yeah. My biggest thing, so I should be able to actually make this Tuesday. My biggest thing for that topic is slow down. Big fish just, for me, eat slower.
I agree
was
with
gonna
that.
say-
I agree with
was-
that.
That was gonna
Yeah.
one of my big fish baits in the springtime.
How much time you got left, Scoob?
A few more minutes.
Couple more minutes. I was going to say, we were thinking about going into
How to get a bigger bite?
how to get a bigger bite this time of the year. What's a good way to produce
Baits.
better quality fish? You've got a really good mind for that. And, but like I said, I knew that you didn't have that much time that you wanted to stay, so we might break into that during a Tackle Talk Tuesday episode.
Yeah, I'll probably, I don't know, 10 more minutes or something.
Yeah. I mean, because Scuba Steve's only got 10 more minutes, let's actually talk let's just go back into South Carolina a little bit more, and let's just talk about that. You said it was really, really windy on that day that you produced your personal best bass, which was, we're going to say 7 1/4. I'm calling it 7 1/4 pounds.
It was seven.
If it was 7
That's your
1/4
PB
pounds
though,
first
for a
time
while.
on the scale, that's
Yes,
what I'm
my
calling
biggest.
it.
Awesome.
I mean,
It's my biggest on
It
the
took
scale
it
before that
threw
was
up
a
when it was
6
in the live well.
a 7-pounder. 7-pounder is a 7-pounder.
7 pounders, 7
So
pounders.
where were your previous was 6 1/4? Where'd you catch that one at? Was that a gunpowder fish?
I caught one up on the upper bay, like up on the flats.
On the flats.
Yeah, with Chad.
What's your
On Easter one day I caught it. That one was
wow.
like 6.07, and then another time I caught a pond fish that was like 6 1/4.
like our pond or different?
No, like a
Pond.
like a
Farm,
private,
okay.
like a private
Pond.
pond.
What's
Yeah.
your PB on the old river?
Like gunpowder.
Tidal water.
Maybe like 5 1/4.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's better than mine on that river.
Yeah.
like easily by a pound.
At Joppa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I caught a couple 6s down there.
I've never broke 5 on the gun.
I have.
Never.
Chad's caught a few.
I've caught a couple 6s, not many, but a couple. They're
Caught a
few
lot
and
of
far
5s.
between, but they're there.
There's
I mean, they're there.
I've caught a ton.
That
of
one I
5s.
caught on Easter
Yeah.
was
Not me.
a tank.
I caught a lot of 5-pounders last
Yeah.
year. I caught a lot of 5-pounders last year. That mag draft
on
was
big
just
days.
like was just a 5-pounder puller all last year. It
I
was-
probably caught more 5-pounders on the bush than I have the gunpowder. Though.
You keep saying that. Now I have to go to the bush, Paul. Thanks.
Phil asked
I'm
what
gonna
lake
ruin
you were
my boat
fishing.
Trying to learn how to run the
The
bush.
7-pounder I caught on Lake
I'll take you on
Moultrie.
Let's do
Lake
it.
Moultrie.
And then we fished Lake
I need to
Marion
learn
the
how
next
to
day.
run my jackpot
Yeah.
anyway. So.
And Lake Marion we caught way more fish there. And there was even a frog bite there, which was awesome because I just got my Tom's Custom frog rod. So
How's
Oh,
Mr.
you got
Tom
the
doing?
Tom's Custom.
yeah, I've heard you talk
Oh
about it.
yeah, dude.
But
It's badass.
oh,
isn't
it's
it?
great. Yeah.
How was
so I got
Mr.
to catch one on it.
How's Mr. Tom doing? Doing
He
good?
was good. We stopped. They were getting ready to go fish Lake Seminole. in
Yeah.
Florida.
Yep.
They didn't. They caught numbers. They didn't catch any big fish, but they went there a year ago and caught some big ones. But yeah.
No,
there's-
Jeff, I'm not fishing tomorrow. I am fishing Sunday though.
So yeah, I was in South Carolina.
I'll be fishing Sunday. I don't know where
Santee
yet.
Cooper.
It was
I'll be happy.
it was really windy
Might
when
go
you were
to
down
Saks.
there fishing, and
The first
You
day.
had
the second
the
day.
first day-
The
the
wind was
second day
better,
was
but the
okay.
temperature was down. So it was almost like we were going right into another cold front.
did you use the wind conditions to try to pattern your fish? Like, were you basically focusing on all wind-blown banks? Like, what was your deal when you did that? Because I know you took over the boat at some point because John had some things that he was taking
Yeah,
care of.
he was busy.
What were some of the things that you really keyed in on to just be like, bait fish could be over here, bass could be pushing bait fish
It
over
was
here.
the wind
direction.
direction. There was reeds all over there, and like I said, I went down a riprap bank, and I said if I get to the end of it where it changed to reeds, I said I'm going to jump to the other side and fish the windblown side. And I wasn't catching them up against the bank for the first 100 feet or so. So I started fishing out in the deeper water. As soon as I did that, I was out in like 8 or 10 feet, slow rolling, and hooked that fish.
So I saw Jason Stevens on here a little while ago, and it's funny that you mentioned that. Like his big thing is like, man, he's told me he's like if I am out fishing and the wind's blowing, I'm finding the windiest bank that I can and throwing a spinnerbait.
That was my thought. That's my
so-
confidence bait when it's windy. It works.
Fishing a spinnerbait in that 10-foot zone
I was slow.
in
rolling.
a half-ounce profile, I feel like that's kind of challenging.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
I mean, you definitely you throw it out there, let it sink, but you really have to be able to control your wind speed, or else you're gonna pull it right out of that.
Yeah, you can't. It's not burning. It's not.
You
burning.
cannot burn it at that point. So at that point, is all you're feeling. You're just
just-
trying to feel a small amount of
When you get this
flap from
Fast
those
off
blades.
the bank, and then I let it fall.
And you had
And then-
you were
then
on
start
willow
up.
blades too,
Yeah.
double willow blades.
Double willow.
You love throwing a Colorado.
So I throw a Colorado in the springtime. I throw a Colorado, Indiana, or Indiana a lot. Mostly because springtime generally have dirtier water.
Exactly.
Right.
So
Right.
it puts off.
Colorado's better for that.
Slower, they find it better.
And plus that cold water when they're not quite in that pre-spawn mood, that bigger thump, they don't like other things being around them.
Right.
So you get a little more of a reaction bite. It just kind of ticks them off when that big thumping thing comes by them. That's my. That's what I've been whacking them on. In the gunpowder.
Do you ever just bend your spinnerbaits open more to slow it down?
I
haven't
will
heard of
sometimes,
that.
but usually I more so than doing that, I'll play with a trailer.
Okay.
So I'll put a
Gotcha.
Plus,
like a high-tech fat.
just throwing a Colorado blade slows it down anyway.
Yeah,
Right? They
that's
have
gonna
way
slow
more
it down.
way more drag. So
Right.
Right.
definitely,
the
for sure.
willows you can kind of burn. You ain't burning a big Colorado blade because that thing's flipping.
See,
like
I'm a
this in the
big
water.
willow
Yeah.
blade guy, man. Like,
So-
Me too.
Right. It
That's
probably
what I like.
it takes a lot less motion on a Colorado blade to really get that thing to flip than it does a willow blade.
Right.
And
Willows spin pretty tight.
I feel like
Colorado's
honestly,
that way.
I don't.
Yep.
I feel like we've been fishing together for a while, and That's something that me and you don't do, is throw the different blades in the spinner baits.
Yeah.
I think I've seen you pick up a Colorado blade maybe on like a black War Eagle profile with
Yeah.
a Colorado blade on
I
it
throw
at
them at
nighttime.
nighttime.
At nighttime,
Hey, throw
the
it.
one time.
I gotta throw that juice out there.
I thought everybody knew that.
Why you gotta throw the black spinner bait juice out there?
That black War Eagle.
Everything black matters.
There,
It does.
black spinner baits, man.
I'm with
Jesus
you.
Christ, here we go.
I have them.
Black frog. I'm making a shirt, by the way. Black frogs matter.
It's got to have a picture. Well, it can't have. I don't throw black frog, so it can't have a picture of me on it.
You will be throwing a black frog after this. You have a red
No, I won't.
frog and a black
That
frog.
reminds
No, I
me.
won't.
Yes, you will.
I
No,
gave
he has
John
a
a
red frog
I
and
gave
a
John a
silver
red
frog.
frog when we were down on Lake Marion, and he never gave it back to me.
Oh shit, dude! The red.
Enjoy.
Did you
telling
get
you,
is
the
it
red
Chiara?
frog is
Hell
the
yeah,
deal.
the red.
Do you have a couple right Chiara?
He liked it. He's like, nah, it's good frog.
Tony's got me
Red
wanting to
frogs.
freaking purchase a couple of these Terminators, and I want to get a couple of the sprigs
Terminator's
too.
always been a good frog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Terminators are alright.
it's just.
You know what I found that I really like?
It's like
the
the
live
toy.
the live target
I
popping frog.
have them too.
Oh,
Yeah.
they have
Oh,
like
with the
the
hard
plastic cup,
It's
right?
It's not exactly hard. It's
Right.
still rubber.
It's different, though.
But it's different.
Yeah.
It's like
not
it's like a translucent.
I like
cup.
the
Yeah,
I
those
like
are
the
good.
regular
Dude,
live target
caught
frog
so
too.
many
Do they have
fish. I
treble?
do, too.
Do those frogs have the treble hooks
No.
on them? Okay.
No, it's a regular frog. I caught so many fish on that frog.
Yeah, those are
last year.
nice, dude. Those
You
are
know what
nice
frogs are pretty decent? Our
Taylor Lures
our
frogs.
Taylor
those
Lures
are nice.
frogs.
Jackal.
Yeah, Taylor doors. They're pretty.
Taylor Lures makes a pretty decent frog.
So Warren actually did do a
Really
nice.
good hooks.
Warren did do a redesign of some of his
really
frogs,
stout hooks.
and we
yes.
have a few of them, and we are definitely going to start throwing them when the time comes. And
Yep.
we're looking forward to it because we're really excited about
is
it.
top-
I mean,
it is
the
top
things are
100
freaking
for
snakehead killers. They
true.
can definitely handle some largemouth bass. They got those beefy freaking salt, like almost like saltwater hooks on them. They are just freaking stout.
Right. Heavy
Very,
wire.
very stout hooks.
Them 60-pound braid hooks.
Yes. And then UMA Lure Company, by far my favorite crankbait in the arsenal.
What else can you
I
say?
even think
about
I think
this
Steve
one?
will even back me up. Every time he's seen me throwing a crankbait recently, it's been UMA.
Yep.
I haven't even had my Mega Bass cranks tied on. I've gone solely to the UMA cranks.
The longer bill one too.
That yeah, the longer
Probably like a 6 to 8 foot is what it looks
yeah,
like.
it's
to me.
it's 6 to 7. It's 6 to 7 in the pool test that we did.
Almost has that like willow leaf shape.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, like a
exactly.
coffin blade or something.
Yep.
Or a coffin bill.
Have really been enjoying that. I've caught a lot of fish on it. It casts really well. His balsa wood crankbaits, the Pudge, some of his deeper stuff, all his flat sides. They're some of the best in my arsenal right now, and I even choose them over the Mega Bass crankbaits. I'm going to be 100% honest. So check them
Mission
out.
is the first step, Chad.
Yeah,
They're definitely-
I am absolutely admitting. So
They're
check
more
those
durable
dudes out.
than those.
And then, last but not least, we have a pretty sick soft plastic sponsor who takes care of us. And
No.
what's happening?
Secret hand motions.
Secret sauce.
Read
Bass
what that
Munitions
is.
Lures.
I am a
Bass Munitions Lures make some really, really good soft plastics. I really, really like their drop shot worm. The drop shot worm prevails. The Holstein worm,
The
correct?
Holston,
The
the
Holston
little,
worm.
the little green worm.
What's
the
that green? I was
Holston
gonna say,
Little
what's
green
that
worm?
green worm you guys talking
Yep.
about?
Uh-huh.
It's a good worm, man.
That's a really, really good worm. He's got everything from your
Really good swim baits, Ned rig baits, your finesse worms, and he's got some oddballs out there. A lot of good beaver style baits, creature style baits. And the best thing about Bass Munitions Lures is you get way more bang for your buck, man. Like you get almost double the amount of plastics in the bag for your money versus Zoom or versus some other companies. Not to knock anybody, but please, please, please check out Bass Munitions. They make some really great stuff.
it's definitely, they have a nice soft profile. The fish pick it up and they don't put it down. It's good. That being said, he's also, last time we spoke to Mr. Larry, he's also been working on some like hooks and some jig type stuff,
Yep.
right?
So expect some developments from Bass Munitions, some terminal tackle. I know Buzzbaits was in the conversation, so We're looking to see some exciting new things coming out of them. And again, Mr. Larry is a 30-year veteran of the police force, so this guy's committed to service. He went from serving the community to serving y'all. So, I love his baits. I've been using Bass Munitions for a very, very long time. I got exposed to them when I was college fishing, and they've been awesome. So please check them out. I think you'll be really happy with them. And I don't know, like I said, I've been out of the scene for a month, but we sent Denny Brower, or we're going to send him very soon, a package with all of these baits in them. So we're giving them to a Bassmaster Classic champion who's on a Wheaties box, by the way. We wouldn't send them to him if they weren't legit. So please pick up a few, check them out, because they are the bees.
We have a massive pile of Bass Munitions plastics to send to Denny. We have 3 frogs from Tailored Lures to send to Denny. We have 2 or 3 cranks to send to Denny from UMA. We're sending Denny a nice care package from Bass and Beer, and we're really looking forward to getting them in his hands. We do have his mailing stuff. We just have to take all of our items and put them together. And that being said, I didn't get a chance to do it tonight, but I also am picking up 300 sticker slaps.
Mm-hmm.
All new stickers coming to you guys. I'm saying all new. They're the same stickers I got you guys last time, but they're a little bit different. I got Bass and Beer added to the 3-inch round stickers. I got the normal 2-inch by 12-inch stickers, and I also got 1-inch by 6-inch stickers that say Bass and Beer Radio. I want them to give out. And then in the future, instead of having that nice blue background, I'm going to cut out the fish with the microphone, and that's just going to be a sticker by itself with the fish with the microphone. I have ordered like 8 to 10 Bass and Beer Radio fishing performance shirts for the crew and Scuba Steve. I'm really, really excited to get those in. And I have also ordered 100 beer koozies.
Ooh, hell yeah.
I ordered 100 beer koozies with the Bass and Beer Radio logo on them so that everybody can sit at home, put your beer in a Bass and Beer Radio koozie, kick back and enjoy the shenanigans that we have to freaking come up with on the Friday night.
I'm sure we'll be giving a ton of those away at the Thursday Nighters.
I got a question for you. I was thinking about this on the way here. And again, this is just a question. Let us know in the comments what you guys think about this. But during tournament season, okay, is Friday nights, because a lot of you guys fish tournament Saturdays, should we consider, not trying to put anything in motion, but should we consider moving Friday night to another night? Because I know a lot of you guys want to get to sleep on Friday night because you got tournaments on Saturday. Let us know in the comments. Please let us know why. And if we need to make an adjustment, we will. But we want to hear from you guys. That's what we do it for y'all. I know everyone in this room fishes tournaments a lot of Saturdays. So we want to make sure that we are able to maximize our interaction with you guys, because that's why we do this whole thing. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Again, not trying to suggest anything, but if it works out for everybody, please let us know. We'll take everything into consideration.
We're always looking for suggestions to see when is the most efficient time for us to come on and what works best for everybody for viewing purposes. You know what I mean?
I probably fish more tournaments than anybody, and I'm still here on Friday. Right.
Monday through Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. I've always thought the Fridays was kind of decent for the fishing community because guys that are fishing tournaments on Saturday aren't going to the bars and getting all jacked up.
Speak for yourself.
They're trying to hang.
Well, during the week, a lot of people go to bed early during the week.
Sometimes when I wasn't coming in, while I'm sitting on my boat rigging up tackle. I mean, you guys have seen me chiming in. I'm watching Bass and Beer while I'm rigging up tackle.
I like it.
I think it's
I know Dustin does the same thing too.
So, I will say one more thing. I'm not saying that it's going to happen this week, but special announcement, and I don't even know if the boys know this yet. We will be uploading our podcast as of next Friday. Actually, if we go live on Tuesday for Tackle Talk Tuesday, as of Tuesday of this week, we will be uploading our podcast to Spotify.
Ooh.
And
I didn't
Apple
even know
Podcast.
This. Didn't even know it. That's awesome. That's what I'm talking about.
So as we've been talking tonight, I have actually been recording our voices through Rode Connect, and I will take our voices and actually automatically transfer the voice file over to Spotify and Apple Podcast or any of those podcast selections that are available for us to make.
So please like and share it. That's the best way to keep this going. The best way to give us ideas. Like I said, we said it all the time. You guys give us suggestions. We put it into action. What you guys want is what we bring.
I've talked to lots of people, and I've had a lot of people be like, hey, like, oh, yeah, I didn't catch the episode last night, but I listened to it on my way into work, or I listened to it at work, or I listened to it while I was working out. And it's like, okay, so you're not actually sitting down and you're not watching us sit around the table talk. You're listening to what we have to say. So let's take this to a podcasting platform.
The classic.
Oh, we didn't talk about that.
I gotta sign out, guys.
How did we not talk
I gotta
about
get out of
that?
here.
We're going to
That's gonna
sign
be a
off,
Tuesday
too.
thing.
Yeah, we're gonna sign
Yep.
off.
Thanks for having me on, though.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Hey, thanks for coming, buddy.
Everybody,
Absolutely.
we are signing off. We will see you guys on Tuesday.
Sure.
We will see you guys on Tuesday. We're going to talk about big baits and big bites, and we will catch you guys there. Thanks, Scuba Steve, for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Steve.
Hoorah!
Really appreciate you coming on. Thanks guys.
Thanks for
Love
having
you.
me.
Peace, everybody. Scuba,
Good deal.
my man.
Yeah, man. Super pumped to have you on, man.
Hey, first of all, what the fuck?
Went good.
Just hold out all week.
I was like, it's trying to
I didn't
get me
know-
there. He's like,
I didn't know when
he's
I
in
was gonna be
California.
back.
I was like, oh, all right, he's not gonna be there.
I didn't know I was coming. Well, so they let us go at 11 today, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it back in time. So
All right, I'm gonna jump out of here, man.
Yeah.
I stayed longer than I should have.
I know. What
time?
It's good conversation.
Yep.
couple months.
It's good conversation.
I talked to him the other day.
How's he doing?
Maybe last week. I didn't go over. I need to get. I have a fly rod that I need to get fixed. So.
I know he said he's probably not going to be around next Christmas.
Yeah,
He's
he's.
kind of thinking about it on my way home today. I was like,
I want to get another rod from him
better do it now.
before. Yeah, that's the point. Like,
Sucks, man. Dude, that line was delicious. I was surprised. Also, I'm a huge
you know-
fine cut guy.
I hate fly cuts.
I can't. I don't
They
know
never
why.
stays together.
It does. If your gums are have to be just as eroded, if not worse than mine.
No, I haven't chewed my dog.
Yeah, dude. I honestly didn't know if I was gonna make it tonight, so that's why I didn't say anything. I was like, if I make it, I make it.
That was a fantastic episode.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm talking to you. And I don't like Corona, but I will drink that anytime of the week.
Corona sucks without lime.
I've never. I don't think
with the lime that makes it. Like, I can't drink it by itself.
it just has that aftertaste. It's like, ooh.
You put lime in it, so would you?
Did I tell you I own the 10-footers? I don't care. It just looks cool. And here's the thing. The price difference is only $400.
Yeah.
I was like, why wouldn't you? Now for power poles, it was way more because I got the Raptors because it was like $1,500 cheaper for 10-footers. So like, why wouldn't I?
That doesn't wrong.
You totally, like, you actually scared me when you opened the door. Like, I had no idea you were.
You got all your foot buttons and stuff too?
Yeah, I got the stomp switch, and they're Bluetooth. I don't know if it comes with a remote or not, but I'll probably never use the remote. I mean, it would be nice for launching, but
I don't use her.
For a long, what do you just get on the boat, pull down, and then get off?
So what I do when I go as close as I'm wanting myself, I leave my boat. I'll just pull out my strap, back it down, so if I'm on it, so we work in the trailer, and then I'll just jump on the boat with my boat, pull down. That way I pull it like over next to it. I'm gonna make sure, my poles are gonna hit it.
power pull trolling motor. Fuck it.
They should add
Because
it.
you can't have the cable assist with that.
They need to add it to the Fortrex. That's
I can't believe the
You
power
can't have
pull.
cable drive.
The power pull trolling motor doesn't have automatic deploy. It's not worth $5 million. If you don't have automatic deploy, you're not worth $5
Yeah, the
million.
only
No,
thing
no,
that
you
has
reverse. That right there.
It doesn't
is like,
what?
It's got reverse.
You
So you
it
don't have
has
to
reverse.
You don't have to flip it, or you don't have to like turn it all the way around. You can just hit a button and it'll reverse.
Okay, but like,
Nah.
come on now.
It's
Come on.
that's pretty sweet.
Okay, but like,
That's pretty giant.
bro, being a successful local tournament angler in big tournaments. I mean,
John Hansel on your phone.
yeah, John will be
John
John too.
Hansel. Do you know John, Tony?
I don't know.
You know John.
I'm gonna,
Yeah, he's a little bit of a douchebag.
I was gonna say, he's a little bit of a geek.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a douchebag.
The funniest part about Herb-
If you're cool with him, he's cool with you, but he definitely has that douche.
The funniest part about Herb is I rode up to one of the Common Good tournaments last year. I said, Herb, what do you think's Yeah, we could figure that out because the audio was there. Like the connection
The
was
audio
good.
and the picture was there. It was just the delay was terrible. I think Mike, when he came on, was just because he was in like the fucking boondock mountains.
Yeah.
Was why.
Yeah, and it
And
wasn't.
same thing with, I think same thing with Technique, honestly. There's nothing wrong with our sound. We've gone on
I called
70
in.
times.
I didn't have a great signal when I called in from Lake Anna, and it didn't hear you. Yeah.
Same thing with Martin.
Yeah,
Martin's
Yeah, that's my biggest issue with all that controversy around it. Like, if you don't have any proof, don't fucking say anything. Yeah. Like, am I cautious of him? Yes. You know, but I've also watched him, like, literally watched him fish docks behind me and fucking slay.
I watched him in the Solstice catch a limit, like 100 yards from me. Fuck. On, yeah.
I fished Chester counties in the Northeast and watched him pull up to the dock that I just fished and catch fish all that fucking time. I know he does it. And he does the same thing that Daryl Ellis does, that
so never Steve one. Because the way Steve talks is just like, he's talking college.
He's just got confidence.
I don't think Steve is like super like a camera I understand why Will wanted $10,000 for his job. Like $5,000 for the equipment, and then another $1,000 and shit for the fucking all the parts and all that stuff. I was just like, put it all together, all the time it took to put it together to get it running. I was like, I understand, like, it was, your average person couldn't just go in there and do that.
Sorry, I'm not full. What's your next side job?
Oh, Randy's neighbor, the guy across the road, told me that he wants a new boiler installed.
Next.
So I'll go get him in a couple months. Got service call up with my dad a couple days ago. The compressor shot on that unit. My uncle gave us the go-ahead to do a full install on that. So that's an install.
Is it your uncle's house?
Yeah. He lives down in Florida. And then Sean wants to install a Rumsky.
Didn't you guys do something at Rumsey or no?
We fixed it one time.
I was gonna say, I thought you worked on it, not necessarily installed anything, but you worked
We
on it.
worked on it, we put a new capacitor in.
I don't know if I'll take one.
I don't even think I made Sean pay me. I think I just got the part for it. He paid me for the part when I was put it in. Like, I didn't even charge him for it. Pretty sure me and Will left work and went to the Rumsey house and fixed his air conditioner and then went back to work.
Yeah, I think so. Hey, honey. Come look at this picture. Look what you see, okay? You're taking too much time.
At first I thought something dirty, but now I see it's not good.
Does it not immediately look like?
Yeah. You coming back here or no?